Chapter 686. 40,000 Li is a bit short. I need to lure a wave of enemies. I'll use these two dragon race patriarchs to test the power of this sure kill skill. Lin Chen grinned. After placing Yin Xinyun in a safe place, he took a step and used the infinite silent step to travel 1,000 Li in a breath's time. The three clones attacking the two dragon race patriarchs seemed to have a tacit understanding. They all used the silent step and retreated at full speed toward the dragon race elders. Not good. That brat's clones are charging toward the elders. Is he going to start with the elders? Don't let him succeed. The two dragon race patriarchs jumped through the air and chased after Lin Chen. The distance between the two chaotic battlefields instantly shortened by countless times. Only when the old ancestor saw the fifth Lin Chen, his dragon eyes trembled, and he hastily roared. Don't act rashly. There's something wrong with that brat. The hell volcano's energy has mysteriously disappeared. As soon as he said that, Lin Chen's main body appeared in the air between the two dragon race patriarchs and elders. The two dragon race patriarchs immediately became vigilant, but it was already too late. Activating green sure kill skill, red lotus karmic fire. Chi! A blazing red lotus light flashed past Lin Chen's forehead. The red flames turned into a ring of light that crossed the sky and broke through the heads of the dragon race experts. The ring of light instantly enveloped their huge dragon bodies and appeared without any warning. What the hell is this? Something's not right. Countless dragons were bewildered. They found that the red ring of light had locked onto them, and they couldn't shake it off at all. At this moment, an indescribable fear and panic appeared in their hearts. It was as if the heavens had locked onto them, as if they were being targeted by some extremely powerful life form. All of Lin Chen's clones instantly disappeared, turning into nothingness. At the same time, the Dragon Emperor condensed his dragon armor to defend himself. He flapped his purple phoenix wings and retreated rapidly, turning into a ray of light that returned to Lin Chen's body. What? That long Chun bow, actually. When the patriarch saw this, he was dumbfounded. Have a taste of my killing move. Red Lotus Hellfire, burn! At Lin Chen's command, the crimson ring of light suddenly bloomed into a red lotus. Flames shot into the heavens, bursting out from the lotus. Roar! 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 A shrill dragon roar shook the sky, and all dragon elders were burned by the red lotus fire, rolling on the ground, badly mangled. As space warped, dragon scales fell off one after another. His blood and chi dried up, and a large number of elemental light balls tumbled into the void. The red lotus fiery aura constantly spread out, as if countless seas of fire were exploding in the void. No. What the hell is this? Why? These flames are following us all the time. Why can't we get rid of them? We, the Red Lotus Flame Dragon clan, were actually burned by flames? The ancient dragons, who were powerful enough to be called emperors in the land of the 9 prefectures in the past, were now rolling on the ground and crying out in pain. The scene was extremely strange. Even the two clan leaders were completely enveloped by the Red Lotus karmic fire. They used their divine abilities to forcefully resist this strange energy. They couldn't get rid of it at all. No matter where they ran to, the Red Lotus karmic fire was like a maggot that kept burning on their bodies. They couldn't run away and could only endure it. When they looked at Lin Chen, their eyes were filled with unprecedented fear. This human youth was too terrifying. This killer move was simply hell, a nightmare. An attack comparable to a 9th-level combat emperor, and they couldn't even dodge it, and could only endure it? They had never seen or heard of such a killer move before. It was too shocking. The crimson red lotus karmic fire burned the entire hell volcano. Byra Oyan was surprised. Where did Brother Lin Chen get such a powerful killer move? Why hadn't she seen him use it before? No. Lin Chen, the Red Lotus Flame Dragon clan, will never live under the same sky as you. Until death do us part. The old ancestor roared crazily. His dragon body moved, wanting to help the other elders. Byra Oyan's beautiful figure flashed and blocked his path. not giving him a chance to move. So powerful. Oh my god, this is too terrifying. This killer move is too terrifying. Even Lin Shun, who had many trump cards, couldn't help but suck in a breath of cold air. In the center of the Hell Volcano, as far as the eye could see, there were huge dragon bodies that were burned into ashes, rolling and crawling. Those elders who were comparable to 7th-level combat emperors were severely injured by the Red Lotus karmic fire in less than 5 breaths. In 10 breaths, they died on the spot. Without a doubt, a large number of them were burned to death. The elders who were comparable to 8th-level combat emperors weren't any better. Almost all of them were severely injured and on the verge of death. If it wasn't for the Red Lotus Flame Dragon clan's innate fire attribute, which made them more resistant to burning, a few 7th-level combat emperors might have died. The two patriarchs suffered different degrees of injuries, and their injuries couldn't be underestimated. This killer move is too abnormal. It's not only powerful in terms of its destructive power, but most importantly, it has a 100% chance of hitting the target. No matter what method you use, you can't avoid it. Once you're locked on, you have to use your own strength and defensive means to resist until the end. Lin Shin secretly clicked his tongue. The power of the Red Lotus karmic fire was comparable to the full power of an early 9th-level combat emperor. Even he was a little scared. Fortunately, this killer move was in his hands. If his opponent were to use this move on him, his scalp would go numb just thinking about it. Lin Shin, why? What kind of deep hatred do you have with my dragon clan? Why do you have to do this? Why did you kill so many of my elders? Mo Tianming roared angrily. Lin Shin's expression instantly became cold and sharp. Because you touched my friend. You made her cry, made her fearful, and made her desperate. What she went through, I will return it to your clan 100-fold. You can mess with anyone, but don't mess with me. Since you dared to touch my people, I will make you regret your actions for eternity. Do you really think I will let Mo Tianming and Luo Sha go? I have already left a sacred fire seal in their bodies. Maybe it won't kill them, but it's more than enough to cripple them. Lin Shin suddenly shouted. His gaze was extremely cold. Staring at his cold face when he was protecting her, Yin Qianyun, who had always seen through worldly affairs, was stunned for a moment. The beauty's beautiful face was dyed with a touch of crimson. Hearing what happened to their sons, the two patriarchs were shocked and furious. This kid still had a backup plan? Then, Lin Shin activated his doppelgangers again. The 4 doppelgangers flashed quickly and took away the large amount of attribute light balls in the void. Bai Ruoyan flashed to Lin Shin's side, and the doppelgangers took away all the attribute light balls to protect Yin Xinyan. Lin Shun left with the 2 women. The patriarch couldn't care less about chasing after the others. He hurriedly flashed to the side of the heavily injured Grand Supreme Elders and spat out a wave of dragon aura to help them block a portion of the power of the Red Lotus fire. Lin Shun retracted his cold killing intent and returned to his usual frivolous attitude. He smiled mockingly. Come, Xinyan. Before we leave, pour a cup of cappuccino for everyone from the dragon tribe. Yin Qianyun bowed slightly. Her jade storage ring flashed, and a jade pot that was 1,000 feet long appeared. Yin Qianyun, who was walking in the air, was elegant. She smiled faintly and bent down to pour out the essence in the jade pot. The snow-white essence drew a beautiful arc in the air and poured into the mouth of a volcano. A fragrance spread for thousands of miles. The viscous black and white liquid at the mouth of the volcano mixed with the lava and slowly formed a 6. Chapter 687. One day after the Great Battle. In a palace in the Flame Mountain Range, the masters of the 2 clans were heavily injured and were resting in the main hall for a while. Damn it, we were fooled by this kid. Luo Yu sat in the main hall and roared hysterically. While they were defending against the Red Lotus Hellfire, Lin Shun and the others had already escaped. With his movement technique, as long as he left the territory of the Red Lotus Flame Dragon, they would not be able to catch up. At this moment, 2 grand elders entered the hall and reported solemnly. Clan masters, Luo Sha and Tian Yin are basically powerless. They can survive, but they might not even be able to recover their cultivation as level 5 dire beasts. That kid is very ruthless. After the explosion of the Dark Seal of Holy Fire, he destroyed the dire beast cores, but he left some energy to prevent them from dying completely. It's obvious that he wants to cripple them. Another Grand Elder of the Tianyuing Dragon Clan shook his head and sighed. For the former number 1 geniuses, the moment they fell from the altar, they were destined to live a life worse than death. Perhaps they would rather die after regaining their consciousness. Hearing this, Luo Yu and Mo Tianming in the hall seemed to have aged a lot. They sat silently in the hall, and the atmosphere was extremely strange. What's going on? At this moment, 5 figures arrived. They were either lightning dragons, wind blades, waves of ice, or shadows that covered the sky. They were all extremely powerful figures. They were the clan masters of the 5 dragon clans who had participated in the attack on Mingzhou. Including the 2 present, there were a total of 7 clan masters who had participated in the attack that day, and all of them were present. Behind the 5 clan masters were the geniuses of their clans, including He Lang and Han Bingling. We sensed that there was a great battle in your clan, so we came at full speed. What happened? A middle-aged man with bright, lightning, and tiger-like eyebrows asked in a muffled voice. Mo Tianming's expression was so gloomy that it was terrifying. He did not want to talk at all. A Grand Elder beside him smiled bitterly and took over the conversation. Clan masters, it's like this. After the Grand Elder gave a simple summary of what had happened, the expressions of the 5 patriarchs were extremely interesting. He broke into the Red Lotus Flame Dragon family and caused a ruckus. This Lin Chun of the spiritual state is no ordinary person. Nonsense. How can someone who can shoot Earth Core energy to the barren state be normal? Even the geniuses of the 2 clans were crippled by this brat. The 5 patriarchs each sat in a corner, their expressions solemn. It was not that there were no humans in the barren state. It was just that no one had ever trespassed into the territory of the 10 great dragon tribes. That was because all living beings knew that this was the territory of the super dragon tribe. After tens of thousands of years, this balance was broken by a young man of the spiritual state. He even crippled the geniuses of the 2 clans. I didn't expect Long Chenbua to be Lin Chun. Suddenly, the red-robed old ancestor's expression flickered. His words frightened many of the elders. Old ancestor Qi Tian, why do you say that? Asked He Lang. He was the one who had been defeated by Long Chenbua during the ceremony. That's because I personally saw Long Chenbua merge into Lin Chen's body without any obstruction. That dragon's core is most likely connected to his core, and they are one. This kind of thing is unprecedented even in the history of the 10 great dragon tribes. The red-robed ancestor's ruthless aura was faintly revealed. He was filled with regret. Back then, he had been so close to Long Chenbua that he could have killed or injured him with a single slap. But he had let him escape right under his nose. The 5 patriarchs looked at each other in shock. They had heard of Long Chenbua's name. He was suspected to be a super genius who had risen up. They hadn't expected him to be Lin Chen's incarnation. He's actually Lin Chun. Han Bing's face turned as pale as paper. Even she had heard of this legendary figure. Any one of his deeds that had shaken the 9 provinces wasn't something an ordinary person could do. Fortunately, he hadn't taken her seriously back then. Otherwise, with his strength, she probably wouldn't have been able to survive a single exchange. Wait a moment. Suddenly, Mo Tianming, who had been silent for a long time, showed a rare trace of panic. If Long Chenbua had been Lin Chen from the start, then why had he gone through so much trouble to come here? Was it just to save someone? No. Quick, let's go to the sacred dragon pool. Mo Tianming's words woke everyone up. The experts in the hall all stood up in horror. The red-robed ancestor personally opened a spatial channel. The 2 patriarchs followed closely behind him. The Grand Elders ignored their injuries and immediately entered. Within the Red Lotus Flame Dragon race's sacred dragon pool, a group of people stood in front of the huge pool of blood. looking at the pool of blood that had dried up to the point that there wasn't even a drop of energy left. All the Dragon Clan experts were stunned on the spot. It was gone. It was all gone. The heavenly geniuses of the 5 patriarchs sucked in a cold breath of air. The sacred dragon pool had accumulated so much energy, but there wasn't even a fucking drop left? Had it all been squeezed dry? Just who is this brat? The patriarch of the Frost Calamity Dragon race, a beautiful, blue-robed woman, couldn't help but tremble. One had to know that the strongest dragon genius in history had only absorbed a third of the pool's energy in one baptism. Not to mention how this brat had snuck in. The sacred dragon pool's energy wasn't something that a single long Chinhua could absorb, as expected of the young man that even those fellows are afraid of. He's indeed a monster. The other patriarchs looked at each other, their expressions abnormally serious. Now, they might really have to join forces. Such a monster had appeared in their barren state. No one knew who his next target would be. It's over. The sacred dragon pool has dried up. Our race won't be able to nurture new dragons for at least 10,000 years. The red-robed ancestor's hands trembled. His heart was filled with rage and killing intent. Mo Tianming's expression was so calm that it was a little frightening. The intense, killing intent in his dragon eyes couldn't be washed away. Patriarch, look, there are words there. A sharp-eyed grand elder suddenly pointed at a dragon pillar and said. Everyone looked over. When they saw the line of words clearly, they almost suffocated. With a flip of my hand, I'll super double your sacred dragon pool and secretly make a fortune. The 7 patriarchs felt their scalps go numb. The corners of their mouths twitched. Super double? What do you mean, super double? He had already drained the sacred dragon pool's energy, and he still wanted to double it? No, double it. Luo Yu suddenly panicked without warning. What the F***CK? Could it be? He asked the red-robed ancestor to quickly open a space tunnel. Everyone was transferred to Tianyu Yinglong's sacred dragon pool. When they arrived, all the experts' hearts skipped a beat. F***CK? What the F***CK is this? Tianyu Yinglong's sacred dragon pool was also in trouble. And similar to the Red Lotus Flame Dragon race, the entire sacred dragon pool's energy had been drained. How'd he do it? Chapter 688. Humans couldn't absorb the energy in the Holy Dragon Pond, and there was a limit to how much the Dragon Clan could absorb. However, he managed to absorb the energy in 2 dragon ponds in such a short time. Monster. He's definitely a monster. This kid is too weird. How did he drain 2 dragon ponds? Damn it. Even if my talent is increased by 10 times, I can't do it. Who the hell is this kid? The energy in the Holy Dragon Pond must be absorbed in the Dragon Pond. It will lose its effect after leaving the Dragon Pond. He can't take it away. But what's going on? Draining the Holy Dragon Pond in a matter of minutes? They didn't even dare to think about such a thing. However, all of this happened in just a few days. Luo Yu's eyes were dazed, and his face was blank. Damn it, Luo Yu, you idiot. You're going to kill me. Of all people, why did you and Mo Tianyin provoke Lin Shun of the spiritual state? Luo Yu was angry and resentful, draining the energy of the entire Holy Dragon Pond. It was too cruel. The Tianyu dragons wouldn't be able to cultivate any young dragons for at least 10,000 years. They would have to wait 10,000 years for the Holy Dragon Pond to accumulate energy again. It would take another 20,000 years for it to fully open. In other words, the Tianyu dragons wouldn't have any new blood in the next 20,000 years. Moreover, the growth rate of the previous geniuses would be greatly reduced without the baptism of the Holy Dragon Pond. The entire clan would be seriously affected. This was equivalent to cutting off an arm for the development of the Tianyu dragons and the Red Lotus Flame dragons. At this moment, another grand elder pointed at the dragon pillar beside the dragon pond with a trembling finger. There are words there too. Everyone's heart twitched, and they looked over with difficulty. The words on the dragon pillar were, I can't even afford to take you. Damn it, I can't afford to take you. I can't afford to take you. draining 2 holy dragon pawns and crippling the strongest geniuses of the 2 clans. No dragon clan could withstand such a blow. The other dragon pillar was even engraved with the words, 3 carry 1 away. What was this? Super double and a team, right? What's more, it's 3 on 1. Suddenly, the clan masters panicked. 3 carrying 1. Don't tell me this is? Damn it. Ancestor Red Heaven, teleport to our holy dragon pawns. Everyone panicked. These patriarchs of the dragon clan, who had experienced one era after another and stood at the peak of the 9 regions, were all panicking. F***CK. If they were to become one of the 3 belts high school, then it would really be over. The energy of the entire sacred dragon pond had been sucked dry. This was a loss that no race could bear. Old ancestor Scarlet Heaven gritted his teeth and opened up the spaces of the other sacred dragon ponds. He passed through them one by one. Fortunately, the sacred dragon ponds of the other races were safe and sound. Just as the patriarchs of the various clans heaved sighs of relief, they began to ponder again. What was the 1 in 3 with 1? At this time, the dragon jade on Mo Tianming's body suddenly shattered and the light dimmed. His expression changed once again. This is the 10 Secrets Palace's emergency message, Dragon Jade. Could it be? His figure flashed, and the others quickly left the sacred dragon pond and rushed toward the Red Lotus Flaming Dragon's 10 secret palaces. Inside the secret hall, many elders of the Red Lotus Fire Dragon clan were drenched in cold sweat. Seeing that the patriarch had personally arrived, they braced themselves and stepped forward to report. Reporting to the patriarch, all the treasures in the secret halls and treasure chambers are gone. We don't know what happened either. The spatial enchantment was not triggered at all. Many treasures and herbs have disappeared. Hearing this, Mo Tianming's veins popped out. He pushed many elders away and said, "Get lost." He went straight to the last secret hall. Many of the secret cabinets inside were empty. Those spatial enchantments and dragon breath restrictions that he had personally set up were all still intact. However, they were not able to protect the treasures that they had accumulated over the past 100,000 years. The other patriarchs who had rushed over were also dumbfounded. They were shocked once again and stood rooted to the ground in a daze. The treasures, cultivation resources, and herbs that they had accumulated over a long period of time and accumulated over an era had all been stolen. If the sacred dragon pond being sucked dry was one arm that had cut off the development of the Red Lotus Fire Dragon clan, then this was the second arm that had been cut off. It was too ruthless. 100,000 years of treasures have all been for naught. Lin Chun, you are so ruthless. From today onwards, you and I will not rest until we are dead. Mo Tianming was so angry that his dragon breath went berserk. He was on the verge of madness. He could not remain calm. No matter how shrewd he was, he could not remain calm at this moment. This time, Lin Chun had directly caused the Red Lotus Fire Dragon clan to suffer a great loss. The number 1 genius was crippled. The sacred dragon pond's energy was exhausted. The treasures that they had accumulated over countless years were all sucked dry. More than half of the top experts of the Red Lotus Fire Dragon clan were seriously injured. Each of these events was enough to cause a great setback and loss to the Red Lotus Fire Dragon clan. However, all of them were gathered together now. Many of the higher-ups and Grand Supreme Elders smiled bitterly. They were even regretting it. Why did they have to provoke this god of plague? If young Master Mo Tianyin had not kidnapped Yin Xinyan back then, they would not have suffered such a disaster. Without a doubt, from today onwards, the Red Lotus Fire Dragon clan would completely fall to the bottom of the top 10 dragon clans. It would be impossible for them to develop again. At this time, many people suddenly noticed something strange. There is another line of words carved on the sacred dragon statue in the secret hall. Everyone looked at it intently. There were only 7 words. Walk alone, idiot. The 7 clan leaders' mouths twitched. This is really... Someone vomited blood. Quick, bring the herbs over. Elder Mo Fong is vomiting blood. Where the F*** king herbs? They're all gone. F*** CK. The Red Lotus Flame Dragon race was in a complete mess. The situation in the Dragon Clan was changing rapidly. On the other side, in the southern wasteland, three figures walked in the air and looked into the distance. Two of these three people were one of the 6 fake god clans, the Dragon Clan's patriarch, Long Can, and the Grand Supreme Elder, Long Yu. As for the young man in green, his aura was deep and unfathomable. The young man in green closed his eyes and chuckled strangely. Get ready to attack. Today I want to see how strong this Lin Shun is. A murderous and dangerous situation quietly unfolded. The experts of the Dragon Clan are indeed strong. A wave of karmic fire of the Red Lotus killed a large number of them, allowing me to pick up 900 million points of blood chi and 40,000 points of fire elemental energy. Lin Shun clicked his tongue in wonder. His current pure strength had already reached 8 million dragon power points. With the help of divine force, he had reached 899 million. He was at the same level as the Azure Dragon. Above, that would be 9 million dragon force points, which was comparable to a 9th level combat emperor's pure strength. It was difficult to break through this bottleneck. Although he still had the karmic fire of the Red Lotus, the damage it could inflict on the 2 clan leaders was limited. There was also a patriarch who was comparable to a middle 9th level combat emperor. If it was a battle of life and death, it was hard to say who would win, especially when he had to protect Yin Qianyun and Sister Royan. Lin Shun did not want to risk his life for a few attribute light balls and put the 2 girls in danger. Chapter 689. Speaking of which, why did the Dragon Clan take away so many fortune tellers? Lin Shun asked Yin Qianyun curiously. She shook her head. I don't know. The Dragon Clan's actions this time are very strange. 7 out of the 10 great Dragon Clans participated in this operation. Although the Ming Prefecture is ancient and strong, it couldn't protect so many top-notch fortune tellers in the face of this sudden attack. Their actions came without warning. No fortune teller could foresee their arrival. They couldn't even deduce a trace of their aura. It's very likely that they have a fortune teller behind them to help the Dragon Clan conceal the heavenly secrets and calamities. And this fortune teller's strength may far surpass any fortune teller in the 9 prefectures. Otherwise, it would be difficult to conceal all the auras of the 7 great Dragon Clans. I don't know where those fortune tellers were taken. If Mo Tianyin hadn't detained me, I'm afraid I wouldn't have been able to wait until you came to save me. Yin Qianyun's pretty face was solemn. Her green eyes showed that she was thinking. Almost as soon as Yin Qianyun finished speaking, a hoarse young man's voice sounded. Little girl, you guessed right. Boom! A powerful and deep murderous intent enveloped a radius of 100,000 miles. A special battle aura formed a boundary and sealed the void. Lin Shun pulled Yin Qianyun over and made her stand behind him. His eyes narrowed. Byra Oyan said softly, a very strange aura. They don't come with good intentions. Lin Shun nodded. He seemed to have felt a very strange battle aura fluctuation. If he had to make an analogy, it was like a poisonous snake hiding in the dark of the forest. He could feel that it was aiming at him. It was very urgent and very dangerous. The young man in green had a smile on his face. He closed his eyes and crossed his arms. He appeared in the air with 2 figures following behind him. When Lin Shun saw the 2 of them, he immediately understood. Old dogs from the fake god family. It was a simple sentence, but the veins on the 2 of them immediately popped out, and their anger soared to the heavens. Damn it, they were top experts in the 9 prefectures. Wherever they went, they were respected by trillions of creatures. How could this kid call them lackeys? Fake gods. You have guts. In the divine prefecture, everyone worships me as a true god. No one is unconvinced, and no one doesn't believe me. You are the only one who dares to call me a fake god. The green-robed young man flicked his sleeves, and the 2 people behind him immediately quieted down. Their expressions were extremely respectful. You? Lin Shun narrowed his eyes and said coldly, are you the fake god behind the Long family? False god. Such an existence was at the saint realm. Even though he was heavily injured, he was still not someone the War Emperor could compare to. Any saint could kill an emperor with a flick of his finger. Little bastard, show some respect to the true God Palace. Long King glared at him angrily. Lin Mao raised his middle finger to show his suspense. You're not the true body of a false god, are you? If it's really a fake god, it shouldn't be so weak. It seems like you're also a coward. You don't even dare to show your true body. Are you afraid of the world's suppressing sacred steel left behind by the sages of the 9 regions? Looks like you can't do it either. There was once a great scholar who once said, "If you're a coward, you won't be able to beat me." Lin Chun. Lin Chun sneered. With a shake of his shoulders, he activated his phantom runes and sent out his 4 avatars. Your doppelganger technique has reached the pinnacle of perfection. Even I can't help but praise it. Even with my experience, this is the first time I've seen it. If it was a scroll, it would definitely be a peerless technique. The green-robed young man had a smile on his face. His eyes never opened. You specially went to the Dragon Clan to praise me? Lin Chun raised his eyebrows. Yan Xinyun, who was behind him, suddenly spoke. You're the fortune teller behind the Dragon Clan. As soon as she said this, Lin Chun and the other 3 people revealed a trace of surprise. What a good little girl. You have good observation skills. The technique you practice is somewhat interesting. The green-robed young man didn't deny it and smiled indifferently. You kill them, right? Yan Xinyun's green eyes flashed with a strange light. Yes, I drank their blood. As soon as he said this, even Lin Chun felt his hair stand on end. This guy could actually control the Dragon Clan and even drank the blood of the fortune tellers who were kidnapped. Fortune tellers can pry into the secrets of the heavens. They will faintly be tainted with a trace of holy qi from the starry skies. It's just that the holy qi is extremely faint and they themselves won't be able to detect it. However, it's different for existences like us. This is a good treasure for healing. The green-robed young man revealed an intoxicated expression. With a boom, ultimate moment and 7-layer transformations were activated. 5 sections of 8 desolation fingers furiously attacked. Long King flicked his sleeves and stretched out a hand. The void was distorted and a golden dragon's afterimage completely destroyed Lin Chen's 5 desolation fingers. Attacking without a word, what a rude wild dog. Long King was burning with anger. Lin Chun spat on the ground. F***CKU. Trash like you have the qualifications to talk about etiquette with me? Wagging your tail like a dog for a fake god and eating shit like a dog. Does it feel good? Lin Chun. The green-robed young man's voice rose a notch. How about becoming my right-hand man? With your potential, I can't bear to erase it. If you can become my subordinate, you will definitely be an influential figure in the future. You will be a peerless genius who will rush up to the sacred boundary. If you have enough opportunities, you might even have a divine fate. The green-robed young man's words were extravagant. He actually threw an olive branch to Lin Chun. There's also your woman, this white-robed young lady. She has the eternal sacred fire. If I manage this power for you, the 2 of you will definitely become the strongest existences in the world. It won't even be a problem for you to surpass me at my peak. When he looked at Byron, he chuckled softly. His voice had a unique, illusory charm to it. Even Bai Ruoyan was momentarily caught in a hallucination, as if she had been placed in a bizarre illusion. Scram! Boom! A furious roar exploded like a spiritual storm, cutting off the green-robed young man's guidance. His smile gradually froze as he stared at Lin Chun and exclaimed in surprise. Middle stage spiritual power of the heaven completion realm? Good lad. No wonder even my illusory language technique didn't work. Who doesn't know how to brag? Are you a deity? A criminal of the sacred boundary dares to talk about divine fate. I, Lin Chun, can also head to the sacred boundary without relying on anyone. As for you, a demon who only dares to hide behind people's backs and stab them in the back, you don't even have any integrity. Any child I pick on the side of the road is more promising than you. Lin Chun spat, extremely disdainful. The green-robed young man finally stopped smiling. He closed his eyes and said indifferently, Looks like you refuse a toast only to be forced to drink a forfeit. It looked like he couldn't recruit this person. Although he felt that it was a pity, since he couldn't use him, he had to destroy him. In the near future, this lad would definitely be a great enemy. As soon as he said that, the two people behind him immediately got ready. Boom! Purple flames rolled, and the Azure Dragon appeared. Lin Chun released the Azure Dragon, and the dragon's might shook the clouds. Even the green-robed young man revealed a hint of surprise when he saw the Dragon Emperor with 3 bloodlines in one body. Interesting. I'm getting more and more interested in you, Lin Chun. Chapter 690. Sister Ruoyan, can you bring Qianyan into the holy fire level? Lin Chun sent a private message to Bai Ruoyan. She replied, No, I can enter freely, but if I want to bring someone with me, I'll have to activate the holy fire level completely. Each activation consumes a huge amount of holy fire origin. If I activate it this time, I might fall into a deep sleep. The cost of activating the holy fire level was huge. Thinking back to when the holy fire spirit was still in Bai Ruoyan's body, she had kept the holy fire level as her trump card. One could imagine that it was not a killer move that could be used easily. That was a problem. Lin Chun's expression was unusually solemn. If Bai Ruoyan could bring Yin Qianyan into the holy fire level, he could use the superdimensional teleportation to return to the spiritual state directly. However, if he brought Yin Qianyan along, he would not have enough talent points. Due to the update of the ultimate skill function, he only had 8 million talent points left. If he were to bring someone with him, the consumption of talent points would double, and he would not be able to teleport to other states. Bai Ruoyan seemed to know what Lin Chun was thinking. She turned into a snow-white jade slip and entered Lin Chun's chest, lying quietly in his embrace. Bang! One of Lin Chun's clones suddenly activated the 6-fold transformation, creating a shadow vortex and charging toward the young man in green. Long Can's expression changed slightly. The clone unleashed the 7 deadly slash. The dragon's strength was like a saber, and the charging rune was activated. Its power increased by 4 times, and it slammed in the young man's chest. A mantis trying to stop a chariot. The young man flicked his sleeves and waved his fist. It seemed soft and weak, but the fist and palm collided. Bang! Rip! The space crystal wall cracked in a strange arc, and Lin Chun's clone was pushed hundreds of miles away. The arm that had used the 7 deadly slash was almost broken. That's some mysterious refining combat skill. Kid, you're full of treasures. The young man in green flicked his fingernails and sneered. Long Can and the Supreme Elder immediately surrounded Lin Chun. Lin Chun smiled strangely. He did not plan to attack the young man seriously. Consumed 20,000 talent points, successfully activated Stealing Omen. Stolen from target. 6 million intermediate ability essence points. F*CK. Lin Chun almost cursed it out loud. How the F*CK did he steal 6 million cultivation techniques soul essences? This was too ferocious. Even if he took the entire Hun family's wealth, he only had about 6 million intermediate cultivation method soul essences. A false god is a false god after all. Even a doppelganger is extraordinary. I just happen to be lacking a cultivation technique essence. Lin Chun was secretly delighted. His 7 ultimate force and annihilation both required a huge amount of skill essence. Just in time, Lin Chun grabbed Yin Qianyan's arm and laughed. You are indeed very mysterious, fake god, but I don't need to fight you yet. The green-robed youth's brows twitched. Oh, could it be? Activating super-dimensional teleportation. Carrying targets. 1. Consuming 900,000 talent points. Beginning teleportation to space coordinates number 2. Shua. Above Lin Chun's head, a beam of light suddenly broke open. Then, the two of them disappeared in front of Long Can and the others. This is his unique space jumping technique. Even a space enchantment can't hold him back. Long Can's mouth twitched. The green-robed youth's face was full of interest. He turned around and faced another direction. Lin Shun, you can't escape from me. In the west wasteland, under a green ancient tree, the beam of light broke open. Lin Shun and Yin Qinyan arrived. Luckily, I didn't cancel this space coordinate back then. Lin Shun wiped off his cold sweat. This coordinate was where he and Long Kuan escaped to the barren state. The west wasteland and the south wasteland were very far apart. It would be difficult for the other party to lock onto him again. Let's go. I'll send you back first. Lin Shun was smiling at Yin Qinyan. Before he could finish his words, his face changed slightly. The golden-eyes twin and eye of 9 tribulations were activated. The grayish-white, killing intent that was faintly lingered around the world and approached Lin Shun. Yin Qinyan also noticed it almost immediately. The two of them spoke at the same time. Chasing after us? Top-notch diviners were very sensitive to killing intent. Obviously, the other party could still lock onto their aura. Bairuoyan immediately flew out from the snow-white jade scroll and accompanied Lin Shun at all times. Since the other party insists on fighting, we can't not fight. Lin Shun's battle intent sword. He released the phantom runes, and the 4 doppelgangers appeared again. The locations of the super-dimensional teleportation points were all within the Red Lotus Fiery Dragon region. Lin Shun couldn't teleport back. He also didn't have enough talent points to bring Yin Qinyan to the spatial coordinates outside the barren state. Qinyan, my doppelgangers will escort you back. You go first. His target is me. He probably won't look for you. Lin Shun instructed. Yin Qinyan nodded. She knew that she would only be a burden if she stayed here. After one doppelganger left with Yin Qinyan, the other doppelganger fled in the opposite direction. Just in case, Lin Shun planned to use another doppelganger to escape to another place and reset the space coordinate. This was his last resort. If you want to fight with us, then let's see if you can catch up to us. A hint of excitement flashed across Lin Shun's eyes. Since the other party wanted to fight, why not turn the dragon race upside down? The territories of the 10 great dragon races were the regions with the most intense special energy. As long as he found another place, he would be able to create a new sure kill technique. However, there was a huge risk. That fake god had once commanded the 7 great dragon races. If he returned to the territories of the 10 great dragon races now, he might join forces with the dragon race to deal with him. At that time, he would be walking into a trap. This was a huge gamble. Lin Shun had bet on a sure kill technique. He was fearless. Boom! The purple phoenix wings flapped, and the ultimate moment was activated. Lin Shun stepped on a dark vortex and rushed into the central area of the 10 great dragon races territories. Brother Lin Shun's speed has increased again. Bairuoyan followed closely behind. She was slightly surprised. She had to use all her strength to barely keep up with his speed. Lin Shun's current pure strength was 8.99 million dragon power. His purple phoenix wings were extremely fast. Together with the infinite dark steps that was boosted by the ultimate moment, his speed had already surpassed many early 9th layer combat emperors. On the other side, 3 people were chasing after him. Oh, you let that little girl go to attract my attention? You even used 2 doppelganger. The young man in green was surprised. He didn't see the difference between Lin Shun and his doppelganger. He only saw the trace of Bairuoyan's Saint Flame and determined that the one beside Bairuoyan was Lin Shun's real body. Although I don't know what you're planning, you're courting death by entering the territories of the 10 great dragon races. The 3 of them increased their speed, creating a sonic boom. The overwhelming aura shocked the many ferocious beasts below, causing them to crawl on the ground in fear. The Dragon Emperor flew across the sky, flapping his winged dragon wings and purple phoenix wings. Bairuoyan stood beside Lin Shun to protect him. System, I want to cultivate the annihilation technique. After thinking about it again and again, Lin Shun still chose the annihilation technique. The system consumed the 10.9 million technique essence that Lin Shun currently had. Chapter 691. Boom! Brand new cultivation memories flooded into his mind. Lin Shun was racing against time to absorb these memories. The three people behind him were gradually closing in. Lin Shin's Dragon Emperor was advancing at full speed. It was extremely fast and crossed a beast region controlled by a high-level beast race in 15 minutes. Half a day later, in the Thousand-Depth Sea, the space here was stacked up and spiraled. Waves of the sea appeared in front of him. It was as if 9 layers of the sea were stacking up continuously. It was extremely mysterious. This was one of the border territories of the Heavenly Winged Dragon. It happened to be the place where Lin Chen's Dragon Emperor's ability, Heavenly Winged Sea, could be unleashed to the extreme. At this time, the distance between the two sides was less than 100,000 miles. The battle was about to start. 9 million mid-grade cultivation techniques soul essences to barely cultivate annihilation to 20%. Fortunately, I have a preliminary understanding of how to use it. This will definitely become one of my killing moves. Lin Chen's eyes flashed, and he suddenly opened his eyes. Green Dragon, stop! Under Lin Chen's command, the Green Dragon stopped flying. As the dragon's body danced, beams of heavenly tornadoes rushed into the 9 heavens and turned into rolling majestic energy that entered the Green Dragon's body. Ability, Heavenly Winged Sea. Lin Shun turned around, and the 5 dragons' imperial spear appeared in his hand. It was time to fight. These guys didn't intend to let him go. Why, not running anymore. 3 streams of light streaked across the sky and descended beside the 2. Be careful. These people are very strong. Bai Ruoyan stood beside Lin Shun. He grabbed Sister Ruoyan's hand and said softly, I will, Sister Ruoyan. You just have to protect yourself. The one I want to protect is you. I don't care about myself. Lin Shun, helplessly shaking his head, Lin Shun said, then leave Ancestor Long, can't my Green Dragon. No. Bai Ruoyan quickly said, I know your Green Dragon is very strong, but you can't stop him. He is a late-stage 9th Heaven Combat Emperor. If he uses the saint body bestowed by the fake god, your Green Dragon won't be able to stop him. Leave it to me. No. The Azure Dragon is only a small problem. I don't want anything to happen to you, Sister Ruoyan. Leave that mid-stage 9th level elder to my clone. Sister Ruoyan, you and the Azure Dragon will fight together. Hearing Lin Chen's resolute tone, Bai Ruoyan was helpless and could only leave him with the words, be careful. The young man's gaze turned cold, and he actually noticed that he was still unable to deduce Lin Chen's fate at all. Interesting, I can't see the general trend of your destiny, and there is no such sign of any creature in 9 regions. Lin Chen, I'm getting more and more interested in you. Long Can, leave your corpse intact. The green-robed youth was inexplicably excited. Patriarch Long Can said respectfully, yes. What? You're not going to use that move of yours? The secret technique of one person fighting against 6 true god families? The green-clothed youth asked Lin Shun with a smile. There's no need to deal with trash like you. Lin Shun laughed disdainfully, activating the 7-layer transformations. Boom! 7 different types of heavenly tribulation light circulated, and Lin Chen's cultivation temporarily rose from the late stage of the 5th layer to the early stage of the 7th layer. Roar! The dragon's roar shook the heavens and the earth. Long Can transformed into a 300,000-meter giant dragon with dazzling golden light, and his aura far surpassed that of an ordinary late-stage 9th layer combat emperor. He didn't hesitate to use the holy physique as soon as they met. Obviously, he wanted to eliminate Lin Chun completely. The Azure Dragon and Bai Ruoyan immediately blocked in front of Long Can, and Lin Chen's last 2 clones blocked in front of the middle stage 9th layer Grand Elder. Boom! The 8 Desolation finger pointed out, and raging waves surged with a monstrous aura. A mirror-like moon gradually rose and suddenly struck in the direction of the Grand Elder. The 2 clones held the Nethermoon Heavenly Crystal and the Wind Emperor Bow, and instantly fought with the middle stage 9th layer Grand Elder. relying on pure strength and the spiritual power of the middle stage Heaven Ascension realm, coupled with the mid-grade 7th layer Wind Emperor Bow. Even if the two clones weren't a match, they could still stop the Grand Elder for a long time. His spiritual consciousness touched the storage ring, but Lin Shin still hesitated for a moment and didn't immediately use the Azure Bright Moon. This 8th level sacred weapon didn't completely yield to him. He had already used it twice, and there were only 3 chances left. He couldn't easily use this killer move. Oh, it seems like I've really been underestimated. Even your 8th level sacred weapon and the secret technique to transform into a 9th layer combat emperor didn't use. The green-clothed youth took a step forward, and as he stepped on the void, his movement technique was like the stars moving around. He actually appeared in front of Lin Chun like a ghost, and a red giant axe chopped down vertically, splitting open a blood-colored slash, abruptly activating the 3-inch calamity. 3 layers of dazzling energy crystals protected himself. Lin Chun used the silent step, and his figure turned around. At the same time, he slashed out with his spear. Charging, piercing rune activated. Battle Emperor 90 style, Azura, slashing sun and moon. The tip of the spear transformed into a 10,000 zhang long river of spear light filled with killing intent, twisting and twisting the endless spear light, dominating the world. The surging battle aura collided with a blood-colored slash. Chi. The battle axe slashed open Lin Chen's attack. The 25% penetration power didn't seem to be a threat to the opponent. The green-clothed youth continued to wield the giant axe, chasing after the victory and chopping down again. 90 style, Blood Azura. Lin Chen's blood and chi, which was as boundless as the sea, burned fiercely, making him look like an Azura burning with blood-colored flames. The ferocious, pure power of destruction was like a dragon in his hand, condensing into a spear and thrusting out, as if it could shatter the heavens. Clang! The moment the tip of the spear collided with the blade of the axe, the heavens fell and the earth cracked. The tremor caused the sea below to surge with thousands of water streams. Lin Chen was forced to retreat step by step. Every step he took shattered the void, and it was a ghastly sight. The momentum of this battle began to attract the attention of the heavenly Imperial Winged Dragon tribe. Bang! 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 Lin Chen, who was flapping his purple phoenix wings, stepped on a whirlpool of dark shadows. His figure flashed a few times, crisscrossing with the green-clothed youth, and they fought again and again. On the other side, Long Can and the Azure Dragon were locked in a fierce battle. Even with the help of the heavenly Imperial Ocean Divine Power and by Ruin, the man and dragon were still faintly suppressed by Patriarch Long Can, who had activated his sacred body. The situation of the two battles wasn't optimistic. Lin Chen had to find a breakthrough point in the battle between the fake gods. Charging Penetration Rune, 90 style, Azura 9 levels kill. The 5-color dragon spear swung rapidly, transforming into 9 levels of heaven. Each spear was a level of heaven. Limitless kill. The blade of the axe twisted and cut open the blood river. It slashed down like a waterfall and actually broke Lin Chen's 9 levels kill. Thanks to the prediction of the Golden Eyes twins, Lin Chen used the silent step, and his figure leaned to the side to barely dodge. Bang! The blood river cut open a section of the sea, directly dividing it into 2 halves. It was a shocking sight. What a powerful fellow. His clone's cultivation is only at the late stage 8th level, but it's actually this strong. Lin Chen's expression was solemn. Most of his elemental attribute values had reached more than 400,000 points, and he had 99 million points of dragon power, which was enough to rival a peak 8th level expert, the 9 tribulations combat body, and the 2 attack runes, charging and penetration, but he was still completely at a disadvantage in a head-on battle. Chapter 692. Lin Chen, bring out your trump card. Aren't you underestimating me too much with this attack? The young man sneered as he waved his giant axe. Lin Shun turned into a shadow and smashed a spear on the young man's head, breaking the wind like a sonic boom. Move 94. Azura, exterminating the world. The spear smashed down like a falling star. Endless killing intent, anger, and battle intent condensed into a peerless attack like a falling meteor. It blasted towards the young man's head. I don't even bother to dodge this kind of attack. The azure-robed youth sneered as he swung his axe in reverse, sending Lin Shen's 5 dragons' imperial spear flying. Die! The battle spear left his hand. Lin Shen's aura soared to the sky and covered the earth. The space around him twisted into a saw-like shape. His left hand punched out with a 7 severing slash, violently hitting the young man's lower abdomen. This punch was aimed at the weak point of the green-clothed young man's soft armor. Finally, the green-clothed young man's expression changed slightly. He also reached out with his palm and swiftly grabbed towards Lin Shen's heart. If he grabbed it, even a 9th-level combat emperor's heart would be pierced through. But the amazing thing was that Lin Shen actually chose to use the method of exchanging life for life, and the strength of his fist didn't decrease. With a tearing sound, a shockwave exploded and rolled down like a hurricane. The young man retreated dozens of miles. Blood flowed out from the corner of his mouth, and his eyes narrowed. I didn't expect this brat's body refinement technique to be so terrifying. Coupled with his penetrating secret technique, it's as if he has the help of the gods. Even my purple gold soft armor can't completely block it. However, my claw should be able to cripple him. Before he finished his thought, Lin Shun, whose body was shining with a clear golden light, stepped on the air. Other than some blood flowing out from the corner of his mouth, he didn't have any serious injuries. At this moment, when his silver robe rolled up, there was also a golden light battle armor engraved with a golden flying dragon. This was one of the legacy items that the Dean of the Heavenly Song Academy left behind for the future Orange Merit students. The Golden Prison Flying Dragon Armor. With this divine armor, Lin Shun cooperated with the 3 Inches Tribulation to block the attack that was enough to kill a 9th-level combat emperor. He only suffered minor injuries. At this time, the battle on both sides seemed to be attracted by something, and the battle gradually moved closer to Lin Shen's side. Whether it was the doppelganger or the Dragon Emperor, they were both intentionally or unintentionally drawing the battle towards him. All of a sudden, Lin Shen's injuries were healed by mysterious energy. Consumed 7,900 talent points. Lethal Bloodlust has been successfully activated. Received 26% healing from actual damage. Good lad, you do have some foundation. The green-robed youth was so angry that he laughed. Just as he was about to charge over with the scarlet axe in hand, Lin Shun grabbed the 5 dragons' imperial spear and pulled it rapidly. Ultimate convergence. The winds and clouds of the world changed greatly. Low chants of war songs resounded throughout the world. Azura had arrived once again. 100 forms, Azura extinction. Lin Shen's aura rose steadily. The dragon force exploded, and the spear moved rapidly. This was the strongest form of the 100-spear battle emperor. Its power surpassed the high purple rank technique and reached the peak purple rank. Charge, penetration, rune blessing. Lin Shun was like an invincible Azura. When the 5 colors dragon spear pierced out, the 9 types of battle chi of calamity rotated and condensed. The dragon force poured down, and 100 spears turned into 1 spear. At the direction the spear pointed, a flash of light flashed, and the dome of heaven suddenly split open. Is this your strongest attack now? Forget it, go to hell. The green-robed youth took a step forward and stood opposite Lin Shun, forming 2 terrifying auras. Just as he was about to chop down with his axe, a scarlet halo fell from the sky without any warning and enveloped him. This is... His expression changed slightly. He had seen this move before. It was the move that Lin Shun used against the experts of the Dragon Clan. At this moment, the other 2 battles happened to be within a radius of 40,000 miles around Lin Shun. The scarlet halo locked on a long can, and that patriarch Red Lotus Karmic Fire burn. Boom! The scarlet halo on the three of them suddenly bloomed into a beautiful red lotus. Its beautiful outline was filled with fierce killing intent. The burning karmic fire burned the three of them. Lin Shen's Azura extinction suddenly rushed toward the green-robed youth. Oh no! The green-robed youth, whose attack was interrupted by the red lotus karmic fire, finally showed a hint of fear. Azure Dragon Sword, Myriad Mystic Light Blade. The Azure Dragon followed up with another attack. It swayed its tail and condensed a majestic water-type dragon breath. The dragon tail reflected an azure dragon light and slashed down like a divine sword. Following closely behind were the dark green light blades that were as fast as snowflakes. Sky melting holy fire. Byron's jade-like finger pointed, and a milky white flame shot out like a needle. It looked inconspicuous, but wherever it passed, it left a vacuum gap in the void. The moment Longkin was entangled by the red lotus karmic fire, Byron and the Dragon Emperor both used their strongest attacks. Mirror Moon Imperial God, Dark Thunder Breaking Sky, Extreme Convergence, and the two great runes were continuously activated. The clone pulled the Wind Emperor bow and shot out a Dark Thunder arrow. It traveled through the sky and shot toward that Grand Elder like a roaring wind dragon. The third clone's Nethermoon Heavenly Sword slashed down, and a Mirror Moon spun faintly and slashed horizontally. The two clones followed up with another attack, not letting go of this red lotus karmic fire opportunity. It's not over yet, old dog. Activated Heavenly Invisibility Rune. Consumed 300,000 points of rune energy. At this moment, Lin Chen's spiritual power was rapidly depleted. A spiraling spiritual storm burst out from between his eyebrows, and a green-blue spiritual light beam shot toward the green-robed youth, shattering the sky. This blue spirit beam emitted an annihilation energy that even Lin Chen could feel in his bones. This was the new secret spirit manual he had cultivated, Annihilation. The most terrifying thing was that this annihilation spiritual light beam was in a completely hidden state. The green-robed youth did not notice it at all. Boom! An attack that was enough to flatten a giant mountain range instantly destroyed the green-robed youth, directly evaporating 3 layers of the 1,000-layer sea. The green-blue light beam pierced through the green-robed youth, and he revealed a trace of shock. Spiritual attack. How did this kid learn such a spiritual secret technique? Bang! The spiritual explosion caused the green-robed youth's position to explode. Coupled with the 25% penetration, the green-robed youth really suffered a lot. What a terrifying power. It is indeed a technique on the same level as the 7 ultimate techniques. What monster? Lin Chen, who had rapidly retreated tens of thousands of miles, could still feel the destructive spiritual energy from tens of thousands of miles away. He was both frightened and amazed. With his current spiritual realm, he could only use annihilation once before it would be completely depleted. Although ultimate convergence could replenish the depleted spiritual power, it could not replenish the fatigue of his spiritual origin. Lin Shen estimated that even if he maintained ultimate convergence, he could only use annihilation 3 times a day at most. He would need to wait for a period of time to recover. This was because annihilation required 2 streams of spiritual energy to rotate and collide within one's own spiritual sea in order to create such terrifying destructive power. And Lin Chen's spiritual origin was very precise in controlling such an action, which was very taxing and tiring. Just replenishing the depleted spiritual power was not enough to fully recover. Countless elemental light balls rolled down from the 3 battlefields. They were colorful and had everything that one could think of. This 3-trump combo was completely effective. Boom! An orange light beam bloomed from the chaotic energy storm, and Lin Chen's eyes lit up. This was the glow of an orange treasure chest. Chapter 693. The 2 doppelgangers retreated quickly, and the Dragon Emperor did the same. They helped Lin Shun collect the elemental light balls that fell from the sky. The 3-inch calamity formed 3 layers of energy crystals. Lin Shun wore the golden hell flying dragon armor and barged into the storm, grabbing the orange crystal treasure chest. Orange crystal treasure chest opened. Host receive a one-time orange tier talent fragment. Sun God, 2/3. It's actually a fragment of the Sun God. I've struck it rich. I'll slip away after the fight. Time to run. With the silent step and the purple phoenix wings flapping, Lin Shun returned to by Ruoyan's side in a flash. He hugged her slender waist and escaped into the void. Lin Shun had already sensed that the Tianyu winged dragon had sent out a true expert and was heading in this direction. If a chaotic battle broke out, he would definitely be no match for them. However, the direction he was escaping in was not outside the Barren State, but toward another region of the 10 great dragon clans. Don't even think about leaving. Longkin roared. Just as he was about to block Lin Shun, his 2 doppelgangers had already put away their weapons. They used the silent step and teleported in front of him. Then, they used the 7 severing slash to attack him. In addition, the Dragon Emperor waved a 10,000-year light blade to block Long Can, who had activated his divine body. Lin Shun and the others successfully escaped. Bang! Bang! In a short moment, the ultimate moment ended. Lin Shun's 2 empty-handed doppelgangers were destroyed by the Grand Elder and Long Can. The green-robed youth stepped out of the sea in a sorry state, his expression as cold as an eagle's. I didn't expect this kid to have grown again. His attacks can actually completely hide their attack trajectories. I've never seen him use such a move before. The green-robed youth flicked his sleeves. He didn't look too injured on the outside, but he seemed to have suffered some internal injuries. At this moment, a group of figures flew over. The leader was the Tianyu Winged Dragon's clan leader, Luo Yu. Why haven't you left yet? Why are you still fighting here? Luo Yu frowned and questioned the 3 of them. Hee, Patriarch Luo Yu, do you want to join forces again? We've encountered an old enemy. If you help us capture him, we can still discuss the matter of rewards. The blue-clothed youth coldly smiled. A terrifying killing intent shook the heavens and earth, exploding out from Luo Yu's body. Lin Shun, as expected, this group of old foxes has no intention of letting us go. Lin Shun, who was sitting on the back of the Azure Dragon, looked behind him and sneered. As expected, the other party had indeed roped in the heavenly Imperial Winged Dragon clan. Now, there's a large group of dragon experts chasing after Lin Shun. Their speed was extremely fast, and all of them were top-tier 7th-grade vicious beasts. The weakest of them was comparable to an 8th-level combat emperor. Currently, the other avatar had already retreated a certain distance away. In truth, Lin Shun could use super-dimensional teleportation to teleport to the avatar's side or appear beside Yin Xinyan. However, Lin Shun was not in a hurry. During the previous battle, his purple-gold eyes had discovered a good place. It's here! Lin Shun and the Dragon Emperor stopped above a piece of cloud. At this moment, the scene in front of them made even by Ruoyan feel a lingering fear. The thunderclouds exploded, and the rumbling green lightning was like a lightning dragon crossing the horizon. The peaks of the mountains shot straight into the 9 heavens. There were no living creatures in the vicinity of the thunderclouds. It was all earth-shattering lightning, thunder, and lightning. The power of these lightning bolts was extremely strong. It was countless times more abnormal than the Red Lotus Flaming Dragon clan's Hell Volcano. Any random lightning bolt had the power to kill a 7th or even an 8th level combat emperor. If hundreds and thousands of lightning bolts were gathered together, even a 9th level combat emperor would be killed. This kind of strange and terrifying place could be considered the most dangerous place in the entire 9 prefectures. Who dares to barge into my 10,000 gang Lightning Dragon clan's lightning prison, Forbidden Land? And like human, get lost. 2 old figures flashed into the void. Their faces were arrogant as they floated in the air and immediately berated Lin Shun. They were 2 elders of the 10,000 gang Lightning Dragon clan. When their gazes landed on the Dragon Emperor and Byruin, a trace of shock emerged. The aura of this person and dragon. Any one of them could easily destroy them. What kind of dragon is this? My God, a profound azure dragon's body, a winged dragon's tail, and a purple phoenix's wings. After carefully sizing them up, the two elders were even more shocked. Elders, what happened? A group of young dragons flew over. All of them were young 10,000 gang lightning dragons. All of them were the top dragon geniuses of this clan. Some of them were still very young and had already become 7th level savage beasts. Their future was limitless. Don't come over, the two elders exclaimed in unison. The strength of these two people and one dragon was too strange and terrifying. These little guys couldn't stop them. Today was the day that the 10,000 gang lightning dragons entered the lightning pool void to train. Coincidentally, the lightning pool void was formed by the power of the lightning prison. But why did they encounter these mysterious existences? The two elders were on guard, not daring to act rashly. They didn't dare to run or fight. It seemed that the beautiful woman and the strange azure dragon emperor were following the young man's lead. The group of young 10,000 gang lightning dragons froze in place. When they saw the dragon emperor's true body, they were instantly dumbfounded. This kind of giant dragon with 3 bloodlines in one was unheard of. The atmosphere was extremely strange. Only a certain Lin opened his mouth wide, staring at the aura of the lightning prison with surprise and joy. Rumble. An aura that could topple mountains and overturn seas swept through the sky. The aura of a monarch descended upon the entire place, and the scene once again became extremely chaotic. Brat, let's see how you run this time. Lin Shun, this time, I will definitely take your dog life. Almost crazy roars and cold shouts resounded throughout the entire place. A series of figures appeared in the sky, 50,000 kilometers away. Hiss! It's the Heavenly Winged Dragon Clan's patriarch, Luo Yu. That's a true, legendary figure. The patriarch of the 10 great dragon clans. Oh my God! Isn't that a figure on the same level as our Thunder Dragon Clan's patriarch Lei? Oh my God! The one beside him is the patriarch of the Winged Dragon Clan, Patriarch Luo Yingjue. He's a legendary figure known to be invincible below the 9th level. Many young 10,000 gang lightning dragon prodigies were seeing stars. To them, such a figure was simply like the bright moon and stars in the sky. He was someone that they could only look up to but could never reach. Now, they were lucky enough to see him in person. No, what's the name they're shouting? Lin Shun? Could it be that Lin Shun of the spiritual state, the one who caused havoc in the divine continent and shot the energy of the Earth's core to the 9 states continent? Is this for real? This can't be a fake, right? How could Lin Shun enter our dragon clan? Oh my God, what kind of a mortal gathering is this today? Many young dragons yelled excitedly as they looked up at this legendary scene from 80,000 miles away. Chapter 694. What kind of scene was that? At that moment, even though the sky was dark, the mountains were collapsing, the seas were roaring, the thunder was rumbling, and the killing intent of the experts locked onto him. Lin Shun did not care. In his eyes, there was only the attribute light ball in front of him. To be precise, it should be attribute bubbles, because these were all special attribute values that could be used to create killing moves. Those bubbles were all 13, 28, 36, 28, and many other special attribute values. Every number was a bubble, and they were continuous, forming a series of lightning bubbles that floated in the thunderclouds. Occasionally, along with the lightning, a large number of lightning attribute bubbles would appear and move. Lin Shun burst into an uncontrollable ecstasy as he laughed maniacally towards the sky. Ha ha ha! This feels so good. This is heaven. This thunder prison is simply AF * King Heaven. At that moment, countless geniuses of the 10,000-strong Thunder Dragon were stunned on the spot, their eyeballs almost popping out. They even thought that they had heard wrongly. This thunder prison was King Heaven. That was a place that even their thunder dragon patriarch and many grand elders did not dare to casually set foot in. It was the highest forbidden ground of the 10,000-strong Thunder Dragon clan, a forbidden ground that all Thunder Dragons were extremely wary of. This King Heaven in his mouth? What kind of a mortal was this? As expected, a man who could shoot Earth's core energy like King fireworks. A real person. He was definitely a real person. It was said that this Thunder Prison had a bit of intelligence, and it had an intelligence that was not inferior to low-level creatures. If it was angered, it could even gather a large amount of Tian-gang lightning to carry out a large-scale bombardment. There was once a mid-stage, 9th-stage Thunder Dragon Patriarch who wanted to enter the center of the Thunder Prison to take a look. He wanted to know the natural elements of the Thunder Prison, but halfway through, he angered the little intelligence that the Thunder Prison had gathered. He was struck by tens of thousands of lightning bolts and was severely injured before escaping. Dying, Luo Yu took the lead and transformed into his true form. This time, he immediately released his killing move towards Lin Shun. His dragon claws were azure, and the claw marks were like blades as he furiously swung his claws. Azure Dragon Sword. Lin Shun's Dragon Emperor swept its tail, and the dragon tail turned into a sword that slashed downwards. It was like a heaven-splitting divine sword, and both parties were blasted away as they retreated 100 li. Sister Royan, enter my embrace. Lin Shun. And he did not forget to tease Byron, and the beauty, and she turned into a snow-white jade slip and entered Lin Shun's embrace. Since he said this, he must be confident. Thus, she could just stay by his side with peace of mind. Bunch, if you have the guts, come with me. Let's see who. The corner of Lin Shun's lips curled up, making him look devilishly arrogant. Leaping into the air, he jumped into the area covered by the endless green thunderclouds. Hiss! Regardless of whether it was the younger generation, the two elders, or the powerhouses of the heavenly imperial winged dragon clan who were in pursuit, all of them sucked in cold breaths when they saw this scene. That was the 10,000 Thunder Prison that even 9th-level combat emperors did not dare to enter. Even the green-robed youth was frowning. As a fortune teller, he could feel the destructive power hidden in the 10,000 Thunder Prison. This place is probably one of the densest thunder energy in the Barren State. It should be considered the Eye of Thunder, and if you barge in, you will be attacked by the Eye of Thunder. It was not easy for this body to escape the detection of the world-suppressing sacred steel, so it is better not to take the risk. The green-robed youth raised his hand and said solemnly, "Do not act rashly. Spread out and surround his escape route." The power of the Thunder Prison was not to be underestimated. Everyone knew that even if they all barged in, they might not be able to escape unscathed. The 10,000 Thunder Dragon Clan's ancestor was a bloody example. Rumble. Bang. Since Lin Shun entered the Thunder Prison, countless bolts of thunder exploded, and the bolts of thunder were as thick as dragons, instantly locking onto Lin Shun. Hundreds of bolts of thunder struck, and the power was enough to shake an early 9th-level combat emperor. Even the snow-white jade slip in Lin Shun's body trembled a few times. 3 inches calamity. Lin Shun used all his strength to activate the 3 inches calamity, and 3 layers of crystal energy blocked in front of him. The lightning bolts struck his body fiercely. The heavenly dipper thunder energy slithered around like a lightning snake and entered Lin Shun's body. Lin Shun instantly felt his entire body go numb. Before he could even feel the pain, it disappeared like a bolt of lightning. The moment the bolts of thunder struck Lin Shun, the attributes of the thunder light bubble were absorbed into Lin Shun's body, and its power was immediately disintegrated. Obtained special attribute points: 150 Heaven Dipper Thunder, 311 Heaven Dipper Thunder, 129 Heaven Dipper Thunder, 198 Heaven Dipper Thunder. If 20,000 Heaven Dipper Thunder attribute points are collected, 200,000 Heaven Dow points can be used to create the green rank Sure Kill skill, 5 Thunder Bombardment. All of a sudden, Lin Shun gained close to 1,000 points of special attribute points. Seeing that Lin Shun was unscathed after being struck by dozens of bolts of thunder, the Lightning Dragon Clan's prodigies were dumbfounded. They stood rooted to the ground in a daze. What a powerful defensive combat skill. It can actually be activated in an instant to protect the body. Also, the toughness of his flesh shell is comparable to the top experts of our Dragon Clan. Is it strong enough to withstand the Heaven Dipper thunder? The Lightning Dragon Clan's prodigies sighed and shook their heads. To be able to have such a foundation at such a young age, even the top prodigies of their Dragon Clan would be left in the dust. This kid is famous throughout the 9 prefectures for real. It's not that simple. The next crucial moment is that he has attracted the attention of the Thunder Prison. More and more Heaven Dipper thunder will be aimed at him. If he dares to retreat, he will face the encirclement of our Dragon Clan's experts. The 2 elders of the Lightning Dragon Clan shook their heads. One of them turned his head and stared at the green-robed young man. He said in a low voice, "Moreover, this human always gives me a strange feeling. Just in case, let's inform the Patriarch." That elder crushed a lightning jade slip. The dragon breath drifted out and teleported through the space outside. At this moment, Lin Chen's eyes lit up. What the hell? Just 1 strike, and I've gained more than 900 points of special attribute points. Come on, strike at me. Lin Chen stuck out his chest and laughed loudly while patting it. Hearing Lin Chen's wild and unrestrained laughter, even the experts of the Heavenly Winged Dragon Clan twitched their lips a few times. Is he King crazy? The Heaven Dipper thunder could even injure or even kill a 9th level combat emperor. Once it was focused, all the experts present would have to retreat temporarily. How could he, a guy who hasn't even reached the 6th level combat emperor, be so arrogant? Chi! Bang! Bang! A series of green Heaven Dipper thunder struck down. Its power was monstrous, as if it was sweeping across the land. The thunder alone was enough to frighten countless ferocious beasts. Yes, that's it. Don't stop, don't stop. Looking at the system screen, Lin Chen cried out in delight. His laughter seemed to be provoking the Thunder Prison. Boom! Thousands of thunderbolts shook in the Thunder Prison. Streaks of green lightning flashed like lightning dragons. The heavens were furious, as if a world-ending disaster was brewing. A pair of thunder eyes seemed to have opened in the Thunder Prison and stared at Lin Chen. The chilling, killing intent reverberated in the sky. Like thousands of dragons, the green lightning began to condense into a ball of green lightning. It contained the endless power of the heavenly punishment. There were at least 500 bolts of Heaven Dipper thunder in it. Damn! This is the first time I've seen so many bolts of Heaven Dipper thunder in the Thunder Prison. This is crazy. This kid has provoked the body of intelligence that controls the Thunder Prison. He's definitely going to die. That ball of green lightning was so powerful that it caused the expressions of all the experts to change. Chapter 695. What kind of level was 500 bolts of Heavenly Dipper lightning? The power of a few dozen bolts was enough to make experts below the 9th level combat emperor tremble in fear. 500 bolts? That kind of power was something that even mid-9th level combat emperors or late 9th level combat emperors couldn't completely block. Ha ha! Lin Shen, this time it'll be difficult for you to not die even if you want to. Even the heavens won't let you live. Courting death. You're courting death. You think you're so high just because you have a little bit of background. The heavens won't show you any mercy. You'll have nothing to say when you're struck. Damn it. It's a pity that this kid died in the Thunder Prison and not in the hands of my Heavenly Dipper Dragon Clan. Young Master Luo Sha's pain can't even be repaid by 1%. When the experts saw the gradually expanding azure lightning ball, they couldn't help but laugh wildly and cry out in joy. However, when a young genius of the 10,000 Dipper Thunder Dragon Clan turned to look at Lin Shun, Luo Yu's dragon eyes trembled even more when he stared at him. The green-robed youth stared at the current Lin Shun. At this moment, Lin Chen's entire body was trembling, as if his brain was trembling. His mouth was wide open as he stared at the azure lightning ball with an unprecedented passion. It was as if an old beggar who had been poor for hundreds of years had seen the world's greatest treasure. A sparkling and translucent arc slid down from the corner of his mouth, and he even forgot to wipe it off. All the experts who were staring at Lin Chen instantly felt their feet turn cold and their scalps go numb. Mother asterisk her, he actually drooled. Crazy, crazy, crazy. He must be crazy. The young genius of the 10,000 Dipper Thunder Dragon clan rubbed his eyes and stood there in a daze. A few of the geniuses pointed at Lin Chen in a daze and muttered to themselves, I didn't see wrongly, right? He looks like he's looking forward to it and is even drooling. F asterisk King thought I saw wrongly too. F asterisk CK. What kind of deity is this? No, no, no. Illusion. It must be an illusion. I must have drunk too much last night. If I ate a peanut, I wouldn't be drunk enough to see such an illusion. Too fake? Did I watch a fake thunder prison? Isn't this the heavenly Dipper Thunderball that even the old ancestor has to run away from? Even our Lord Patriarch might not dare to take this thing head on. As the top lightning dragons of the Barren State, the geniuses of the 10,000 Gang Lightning Dragon knew the power of the Tian Gang Lightning better than most of the other creatures. If they were to face it head-on, the power of the Lightning Ball might even kill an early 9th level combat emperor. He stared at the heavenly Dipper Lightning that was powerful enough to kill an early stage 9th stage cultivator. Not only was he not afraid, he was even drooling in excitement. He was insane. If he wasn't crazy, then he was an idiot. Either that, or he had lost his mind. All the prodigies of the Thunder Dragon race retreated a few thousand miles. The explosion of this thing was too terrifying. If they were to get close, they might even be caught in the explosion. Even the slightest aftershock would be enough to turn them into ashes. Not only the prodigies of the Thunder Dragon tribe, but even the grand elders of the Winged Dragon tribe couldn't help but distance themselves from him. The power of that lightning ball was too freakish. Hey, why did you all run so far away? Didn't you want to mess with me just now? Lin Chen suddenly realized that the experts outside the Thunder Prison had all distanced themselves from him. He couldn't help but be astonished. Nonsense. If they didn't run far away, would they be waiting to be struck by lightning? Lin Chen pointed at the lightning ball that was constantly condensing in the vast thunderclouds and asked curiously, could it be that you all are afraid of it? How could that be? Look at its shape, its luster, its color, its radiation, its radiance, and its dazzling lightning. It's so cute, so pitiful. I can't wait to have it strike me. All the experts almost curse it out loud. Cute your sister. Pitiful? Pitiful? You call that pitiful? You must be crazy. In everyone's eyes, that green lightning ball was a nightmare, hell, and a devil. But in Lin Chen's eyes, it was really a cute bunch. Inside were all light balls with special attributes. Countless lightning bubbles with numerical values were fused together, from tens to hundreds, and finally to thousands. As if it understood Lin Chen's words, the thunderclouds roared again and increased their strength from 500 to 700 bolts of heavenly Dipper lightning. Before the experts could retreat in time, with a whoosh, the space cracked open. Whoosh! Boom! The green thunder lightning ball exploded in the sky, condensing into 100 zhong wide lightning beam. With a loud boom, it shot down, crossing the distance of 10,000 li, straight towards Lin Chen's body. Lin Chen and the Azure Dragon activated their defenses at the same time. The Azure Dragon domain was activated and the 3-inch tribulation was activated. Lin Chen rushed forward to take it head-on again. Bang! The thunderstorm-like explosion resounded through the sky. Lin Chen's hair stood on end from the electricity, and his body trembled violently. Boom! A terrifying energy wave exploded, like a mushroom cloud rising, smoky and shocking. Everyone in the dragon race only had one thought at this time. Lin Chen was dead for sure. This time, even early 9th level combat emperor would die. An intermediate 9th level combat emperor would be severely injured or crippled. Without the strength of an intermediate 9th level combat emperor, it was impossible to survive. Only the young man in the green robe stared coldly at the exploding lightning. Before the power of the Heavenly Dipper lightning started to destroy Lin Shun, the large lightning bubble marked with 12,562 merged into Lin Shen's body. The system screen popped up. 20,000 Heavenly Dipper lightning attribute points have been collected. 200,000 Heavenly Dao points have been consumed, and the production has been completed automatically. Host has received a top-notch green rank sure kill skill, 5-blow thunderstruck. Within a range of 100,000 miles, all hostile targets will be struck by the 5-blow thunderstruck, destroying the target's vitality and 5 elemental energy. It is extremely powerful and useful. A new sure kill skill was born. This was a sure kill skill that was even more powerful than the karmic fire of the Red Lotus. Awesome! Let the lightning come more fiercely. If you don't strike me to death today, don't call yourself Lei Yu. Ha ha ha! His arrogant laughter resounded through the sky, and everyone sucked in a breath of cold air. He didn't die. Not only did he not die, but he was still alive and kicking. What kind of monster was this? The two elders of the Thunder Dragon tribe trembled in fear. He's fine. How terrifying. Does he have a thunder energy physique? But that's not right. No matter how powerful his talent is, he can't be completely immune to that kind of attack. The two elders trembled. At this time, more and more top experts began to gather around Lei Yu. They were attracted by Lin Shen's violent and terrifying aura. Countless experts of the Dragon Tribe were very curious. This was the forbidden land of Lei Yu. Even the ancestors of the Thunder Dragon Tribe didn't dare to barge in. Who dared to be presumptuous here? However, when countless experts gathered outside Lei Yu, they first saw a group of experts of the Thunder Dragon Tribe and the Winged Dragon Tribe were stunned in place. Then, the figure of a young man in Lei Yu kept flashing, and streaks of earth-shattering green thunder exploded on him. The next moment, loud laughter spread in all directions. Yes, 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 there. Spin and jump. I'll close my eyes. Oh, that's great. Don't stop. I love electrotherapy. This strength, this soreness, it's so good. Hey, here too. That's right. You're really obedient. Just do it here. I made Brother Chin practice sit-ups 2 days ago, and he's still a little tired now. Do it a few more times, and do it as hard as you can. Don't hold back. If you hold back and do it less, I'll get angry with you. All the Dragon Clan masters who had rushed over were dumbfounded, and they stood rooted to the spot. Chapter 696. Even the patriarch of the 10,000 Gang Thunder Dragon Clan, Lei Batian, had personally arrived. Elder Wan Shao, why did the two of you call this patriarch? Lei Batian had just arrived when he saw the green-robed youth. His eyes narrowed. However, the moans that continued to come from the Thunder Prison made him turn his head and look into the distance. He was dumbfounded. Countless bolts of lightning exploded on the body of the silver-robed youth in the Thunder Prison. Not only was he unscathed, he was also roaring with vigor. Who the hell is this kid? Lei Batian's face was filled with shock. This was something that even he, the patriarch of the 10,000 Gang Thunder Dragon Clan, could not do. This person is Lin Shun. Luo Yu, who was floating in the air, gritted his teeth, causing Lei Batian to cry out, "He is Lin Shun. He actually came to the Thunder Prison of my Thunder Dragon Clan. What is this kid trying to do? No matter what he does, we must eliminate him today." The green-robed youth walked between the two patriarchs with a sharp gaze. Inside the Thunder Prison, obtained special attribute points, 124 points of Heavenly Dipper Thunder, 110 points of Heavenly Dipper Thunder, 179 points of Heavenly Dipper Thunder, 148 points of Heavenly Dipper Thunder. The system screen continued to pop up. Lin Shun continued to endure the endless green lightning from the Thunder Prison, which struck him and the Azure Dragon. It was indescribably wonderful. From time to time, he would let out a comfortable moan. In the mountains, Lin Shun was wearing a golden armor and a silver robe. He opened his arms and endured the deafening lightning strikes again and again, causing the earth to shake and the thunderclouds to surge. Yes, that's it. Come and hit me. Shoot more. Don't stop. Don't let the climax stop. Oh, brother Lei, I can't take it anymore. You're too strong. I need to take a break. It's 2F King good, wah. Lin Chen's screams, wails, and moans resounded outside the Thunder Prison. Whether it was the Grand Elder who had been in charge of the Dragon Clan for 10,000 years, the hidden beast experts hiding in seclusion in the Barren State, or the curious little beasts passing by, they all stared with their dog eyes. At this moment, all the creatures who witnessed the situation in the Thunder Prison were dumbfounded, as if they had seen a ghost. It had to be said that it was too strange, too violent, too perverted. The heavenly dipper lightning, which even a peak combat emperor couldn't avoid, had struck his body time and time again, but nothing had happened. What kind of monster was this? Even a late 9th level combat emperor didn't have this ability. Boom! The lightning prison erupted with a wave of lightning that rushed into the heavens, condensing into a 10,000 zhong long lightning dragon that released a thunderous roar that tore apart the heavens. Lin Chen's words seemed to have enraged the entire Thunder Prison. At this time, it actually wanted to gather all of its power to forcefully destroy him. The expressions of all the top experts changed. Even the green-robed young man who seemed to be a fake god had a very grave expression on his face. With the power of thunder condensed to its peak, this attack can threaten any combat emperor below the second tribulation level. Could it be that this kid can withstand it? Lightning gathered, and the green lightning dragon continued to grow bigger. The experts of the lightning dragon race sucked in cold breaths. There were at least thousands of heavenly dipper lightning. If one were to strike down, perhaps only a late 9th level combat emperor will be able to survive. Late 9th level combat emperor. How many of them were there in the top 10 dragon races? However, in Lin Chen's eyes, countless value bubbles flashed with lightning and condensed into a bigger attribute bubble. The value inside the bubble was 25,350, and it was still rising. Suddenly, Lin Chen turned around and shouted, "Quick run! All of you, stay away from me." Many experts were shocked. This human kid was actually worried about the experts of the dragon race. Was there something wrong with his brain? He should be the one worrying about himself. And he even asked them to stay away from him? You should be the one worrying about yourself, right? Was he an idiot with a C in his head? However, Lin Chen's next sentence made countless experts who gathered outside the Thunder Prison twitch their mouths. It had directly subverted their cognition and common sense. All of you, stay away from me. Don't snatch it from me. Whoever tries to snatch it from me, I will fight with my life. F*CK. Is there something wrong with your brain? Is there a C in your head? Lin Chen. Today, the experts of the dragon race who had lived for tens of thousands of years, 50,000 years, 80,000 years, 100,000 years, or even longer had their eyes opened. This Lin Chen was more than just a freak. He was simply a milestone in the world of freaks. Do you think everyone has a C in their head like you? F*CK. They had seen people who were in a hurry to cultivate, to break through, to sleep with women, but they had never seen someone who was in such a hurry to die. Even a little bit of residual power could kill a 7th level high-level beast. Snatch it? Who the F*CK would be crazy enough to snatch that thing? Quick retreat. The thunder is about to descend. Without caring too much, the experts immediately retreated and flew nearly 10,000 miles away. At this time, the Big Dipper Thunder Dragon was close to 10,000 feet in size. Its whole body was flashing with lightning and dragon's might, releasing a destructive aura. When it overflowed the space crystal wall, it was directly crushed. From afar, it was like a giant dragon that represented the heavenly might. Its anger could crush the mountains and rivers within 10,000 miles. The power of this Thunder Dragon is a little similar to the power of the 9 Tribulation Star that I displayed when I superimposed my 4 major talents. Lin Chen commented seriously. His actions were dignified, and he didn't panic at all. He even took out a skewer of grilled dragon wings and took a bite. Roar! The dragon's roar shook heaven and earth. Its body twisted, and its aura was monstrous. Like a waterfall falling from the sky, it violently swept over Lin Chen's head. While he was wearing golden armor and activating the 3-inch tribulation defense, the Dragon Emperor activated the Black Azure Dragon Domain. As the dragon chi rampaged, the lightning slowed down a little. The next moment, Lin Chen did something that puzzled all the experts. He actually slammed his palm on his body, and the gray talisman disappeared in a flash. Boom! Almost at the moment Lin Chen slapped himself, the Thunder Dragon suddenly exploded on top of his head. Many of his defenses were torn apart. The moment the thunder was about to invade his body, the level 5 slowing rune was activated. Chi! The lightning that entered Lin Chen's body was delayed for a moment by the level 5 slowing rune, causing its power to not be maximized. It was precisely because of this pause that the huge attribute bubble instantly merged into Lin Chen's body. Obtained special attribute points, 34,864 Big Dipper Thunder points. Automatically consumed 40,000 Big Dipper Thunder attribute points. 400,000 Heavenly Tao points to create the top green sure kill skill. 5 lightning strikes twice. He directly accumulated 2 sure kill skills in one go. This was awesome, and he was now even more confident. Many Dragon Race powerhouses were dumbfounded as they watched the massive Thunder Dragon disappear. It was gone. That was Lei Yu's all-out attack. It was so easily resolved by this kid. What did he do? He seemed to have slapped himself, and then it was gone. This is 2F** King ridiculous. Those old monsters who had lived for countless years were dumbfounded. They couldn't believe it, and they didn't even dare to believe the moment before their eyes. Chapter 697. Luo Yu was shocked and angry. How many trump cards does this kid have? Chi! The thunderclouds dissipated. At this time, Thunder Prison's violent green lightning energy had dissipated by more than half, and there was a tendency for it to shrink. Thunder Prison had gathered so much energy to attack Lin Chen. Naturally, it was not a small loss, but Lin Chen was not affected at all. Even Thunder Prison did not intend to strike him. It was 2F** King frustrating. No matter how he struck, nothing happened. Thunder Prison did not strike, but Lin Feng was the one who was anxious. F***CK, Brother Lei, what's wrong with you? Why can't you last? Why can't you continue? Is it because you're too tired after a night of indulgence? Use the standalone treasure of kidney. I love you, Brother Lei, don't stop. Don't let your rapid fire stop. Hurry, continue. If you don't shoot, I'll be anxious. F***CK, I'm giving you face, but you don't want it. If you don't shoot, I'm going in. Seeing that Thunder Prison was not affected by force or persuasion, Lin Feng rushed in anxiously. Many strong people were so frightened that their eyebrows twitched. He rushed into the thunderclouds, and the Dragon Emperor followed closely behind. Wherever the man and dragon passed, thunder and lightning would explode, and there would be lightning everywhere. Those lightning bubbles with numerical values floating in the thunderclouds were absorbed by Lin Chen and the Dragon Emperor. The energy of Thunder Prison began to decline further. Countless eyes stared at Lin Chen in disbelief as he rushed into the thunderclouds. Since ancient times, no one had been able to refine the energy of Thunder Prison. Why did the energy of the thunderclouds begin to decline as soon as this kid rushed in? Could be the same principle as how he could neutralize the bombardment of the Tiangang thunder. Goo goo. Boom. Boom. Around Thunder Prison, roars echoed. There was a strange vibration coming from Thunder Prison, as if there was a kind of fear and dread in it. When this roar that sounded like a wail entered the ears of the Thunder Dragon tribe, their eyes were filled with disbelief. Yes, fear. The intelligence of Lei Yu was afraid of Lin Chen. Lin Chen acted as if he had drunk vitamin lemon tea. He didn't care at all and activated his Thunder Calamity battle body to crazily absorb countless special attribute points. The attribute of the Tion gang, thunder, soared all the way. Seeing that it was not far from the completion of the 5th sure kill skill, the 5 thunders, Leiyu suddenly burst out with a furious roar. Gee, Screech, you're too beautiful. The thundercloud that covered 1,000 miles trembled violently, and after a burst of violent screeches, it suddenly flew away and swept in the opposite direction of Lin Shun. Only a large number of Dragon Clan powerhouses and a stunned Lin Ming were left behind. F***CK. Escaped? Everyone was dumbfounded. How could the spirit of the Thunder Prison escape with the entire Thunder Prison? That was the forbidden area of the Thunder Dragon Clan. Ever since it was born, it had always been here and had never left. Was today a F***King dog or a F***King machine? After Lin Shun reacted, he immediately rode on the Dragon Emperor, flapped his purple phoenix wings, and quickly chased after it. Lin Shun, who was chasing, shouted as he chased, "Brother Lei, don't go. Shoot a few more green thunderbolts for me. If you don't shoot, I'll shoot you." Lin Shun pulled the Wind Emperor bow and warned. The spirit of Thunder Prison was so scared that it opened its eyes and ran even faster. While escaping, the thundercloud swept out a green thunderbolt at Lin Shun, trying to buy time for itself. Lin Shun scattered it with a palm and took away the attribute points. Looking at the direction where the man and the prison escaped, all the powerhouses were dumbfounded. What kind of god is this Lin Shun? Even Leiyu was scared away by him. It had to run. It couldn't kill it, and if it waited for death, all the energy of the green thunderbolt would be taken away. If all the energy was taken away, it would completely disappear from the world. This was the instinct of a creature. If it wanted to live, it had to escape. It would be strange if it didn't escape. The young man's face was a little gloomy. He waved his hand and said, "Follow me. No matter what, we have to kill this kid today." Long Can and Leiyu turned into a stream of light and decisively chased after Lin Shun. The more he came into contact with Lin Shun, the more the young man in green felt that this kid couldn't be left alive. If he could find a way to leave the 9 regions and leave early, he would definitely return as a king. He would definitely be a peerless powerhouse under the starry sky. Kill. Cut the weeds and dig up the roots. Now is the time to kill this kid. Coincidentally, he was in the territory of the Dragon Clan, and he still had the Dragon Clan's bargaining chip. After Long Can, Luo Yu, Lei Batian, and the other powerhouses immediately followed. Many Beast Clan powerhouses who had come out of seclusion also changed into a part of their original bodies and followed to watch the show. The top powerhouses of the Dragon Clan all had serious expressions. No matter how great Lin Shun's ability was, he was in the territory of the 10 great Dragon Clans. If the Dragon Clan joined forces, there was no powerhouse in the 9 regions that they couldn't kill. Even if he had all kinds of tricks, he would still die today. Dark Shadow Heavenly Dragon. A Dark Shadow Heavenly Dragon old ancestor was together with a certain concubine of the Dark Shadow Dragon Clan leader. They were in a dark abyss canyon that was covered with a huge barrier and were learning a foreign language. These were 2 huge black dragons that were entwined together. Their bodies flowed with an aura that was as deep as the sea. It was as if they could shatter mountains and rivers with just a slight release. Old ghost, you're good. You actually chose to be next to that guy's palace. Aren't you afraid of being discovered? Not afraid. This old man can decide the life and death of countless people with a single word. So what if we're discovered? If we use the words of the human clan, what are we? That is, since we want to pursue excitement, we naturally have to go all the way. Lowly concubine, you're so slutty. Old ancestor, will you not want a concubine anymore? I've already followed you, and there's no turning back. How can this old man do such a heartless beast thing? If I do that, then I'm worse than a beast. Ah, yes, that's the strength. Suddenly, the young man's voice sounded. F***CK. Are you F***King shooting or not? If you're not shooting, then I'll shoot. As soon as he finished speaking, a loud bang rang out as an arrow with a 25% penetration power shot through the barrier from the horizon, violently shattering the barrier. This sudden commotion shocked the old ancestor so much that his dragon body shook. The little dragon trembled, the corners of his mouth twitched, and he sucked in a cold breath. The concubine dragon was scared out of her wits. She was so scared that she flowed all over the ground. The old ancestor's dragon body spiraled and flew up like an ancient dragon flying into the sky. He roared angrily, F***CK, which son of a B***ch dares to disturb me? The next moment, the old ancestor, who had flown up majestically, was suddenly scared out of his wits. Boom, boom, boom. The earth-shattering sound of thunder came like a giant beast, and a thundercloud was moving to the sky above the canyon at an extremely fast speed. In the thundercloud, the green lightning was like countless giant dragons, and the aura was majestic and shocking. He couldn't be wrong about such violent and ferocious lightning energy. It was the #1 forbidden area of the Thunder Dragon race, the famous fierce place of the entire dragon race, Thunder Prison. F***CK. What the F***CK is going on? Isn't Thunder Prison at the border of the Thunder Dragon race? Why the F***CK is it at my side? The old ancestor was so scared that his scalp went numb. He didn't even care about the dragon who had stolen his concubine and turned to run without another word. Chapter 698. The spirit of Thunder Prison was in a panic. Very F***king panic. Extremely panicked. If the rainwater in the thunderclouds could be counted as excrement, then it should be counted as pissing its pants. Being chased by a pervert of the human race who kept asking it to shoot out its essence energy. What should it do? Waiting online urgent. Extremely urgent. 100,000 whirlwinds urgent. 1 million single machine urgent. Lin Shun was completely persevering. He stepped on the Dragon Emperor and flew into the sky. He either drew his bow and shot, or used his pure strength, mental strength, or battle chi attack with the Tribulation Battle Body to stop the spirit of Thunder Prison. That was a large amount of special attribute points. Now that he had discovered it, there was no reason for him to withdraw. How could he let go of a duck that was already in his mouth? Then why was he still called Lin Shun? He should change his name to Death Pen Shun. At this time, Thunder Prison and Lin Shun were in the territory of the Dark Shadow Heavenly Dragon Clan, one of the top 10 dragon clans. He and Thunder Prison, one running and one chasing, had almost crossed the entire main territory of the Dark Shadow Heavenly Dragon Clan. Almost all of them had exploded on the spot. All of them were in an uproar. Today's weather is clear, suitable for playing chess. What the F***CK? Am I seeing things? Isn't that Thunder Prison? Run. Run quickly. F***CK. Isn't this Thunder Prison born in the Thunder Dragon Clan? Why the F***CK did it come to us? I'll trap you to death. Wait for me. All the members of the Dark Shadow Heavenly Dragon Clan were frightened and panicked. They didn't even care about their own territories, secret realms, treasure pavilions, brothers who were taking a dump, friends who were cultivating, and bad friends who were flirting with girls. The moment they sensed Thunder Prison, they exploded and ran away immediately. In the face of a great disaster, everyone ran away. Thunder Prison, which could easily kill 7th and 8th level combat emperors, and even the old ancestors of the middle 9th level combat emperor, suddenly appeared in the Dark Shadow Heavenly Dragon Clan. Who wouldn't be afraid? Even the patriarch of the Dark Shadow Heavenly Dragon Clan couldn't suppress it. Rumble. Bang. Bang. The spirit of Thunder Prison was so scared that it shot out a few more bolts of green lightning towards Lin Shun. It tried to resist, but it was absorbed by Lin Shun again. His special attribute increased again, and he was still a bit away from the 4th 5-blow Thunderstruck Sure Kill skill. Just a little more, and I'll be able to make the 4th 5-blow Thunderstruck. When the time comes, I'll release a series of 5-blow Thunderstruck. I like to see who can stop me. Lin Shun licked his lips, an ominous glint in his eyes. The intelligence of the Thunder Prison spirit was not high. Because it was not very smart, it was completely panicked. Other than using a few bolts of green lightning to try to resist, it did not know what to do. In its memory, there had never been such a creature. He was not afraid of his lightning at all. From the moment it was born, it was as if all the creatures in the world were afraid of him. Only this tiny and strange creature was not afraid of him at all. At this time, countless high-level ferocious beasts looked up at the sky and found that the thunder-prisoned spirit, who was running away crazily, was followed by a strange giant dragon. This dragon had the purple phoenix wings of the winged rain dragon. Its body was an azure dragon, and its tail was like a dragon sword. It was the tail of a winged dragon. Was it a dragon that combined 3 bloodlines into one? No, look, it's a human on the dragon's head. Many high-level ferocious beasts looked over. At the front of the azure dragon's head stood a majestic young man in golden armor and silver robes. He held a green bow in his hand, and his eyes were domineering. I've seen his portrait. He seems to be the human Lin Chun, who has been in the limelight recently. Lin Chun, the guy who dares to challenge a true god family of the human race? Oh my god, why did he come to the territory of the 10 great dragon clans, and even brought Thunder Prison here? Suddenly, Lin Chun shouted with an urgent face. Brother Thunder, you're too mean. We agreed to be each other's angels, but you said you wouldn't shoot. You're not trustworthy. How about this? I'll be your slave, as long as you give me F*CK, okay? Many ferocious beasts and dark shadow heavenly dragons in the territory of the dark shadow heavenly dragons were dumbfounded. Crazy. He must be crazy. Where did this lunatic come from? He wants to be each other's angel with Thunder Prison? He's more like SH*T. Rumble. At this time, the thunder clouds were rolling, and the momentum was surging. The 100,000 ferocious beasts under the void were trembling in fear, and they were ready to run at any time. Poof! Lightning flashed, and the thundercloud exploded. Its speed became even faster. It was like a coward farting to increase its speed, causing all the beasts to be stunned. Their minds went blank for a short time. F*CK. A certain Lin Chao spat and hurriedly chased after the tail of the thundercloud. Rumble, rumble, rumble. Sonic booms tore through the clouds. After Lin Chun, another group of experts tore through the clouds one after another. Every one of them was a legendary figure. Clan leader Lei Batian of the Thunder Dragon Tribe, Clan leader Luo Yu of the Winged Dragon Tribe, and the Patriarch of the Winged Dragon Tribe is here too. What kind of lineup is this? F*CK. The world is changing. The Dragon Tribe is changing. None of the legendary level ferocious beasts dared to get too close to Lin Chun. No one knew what state Thunder Prison was in. Once he launched a desperate counterattack, they would be defeated in minutes. Dragon Flame Mountain Range. What's going on? Why is Thunder Prison of the Thunder Dragon Tribe in our territory? F*CK. He's flying over here. Quick retreat. Clan leader, look. It's Lin Chun. He's back again. F*CKU. He's looking for SH*T. All members of the Red Lotus Flame Dragon Clan. Listen up. Attack. Do whatever it takes to kill this bastard who destroyed our clan and take back all our cultivation resources. The Red Lotus Flaming Dragon Tribe exploded on the spot. 10,000-year Azure Dragon Territory, Azure Cloud Palace. Flop. A righteous flop. Exploded like a muffled thunder. The upper echelons of the Azure Dragon Tribe were all awakened. What followed was a heaven-shaking thunder that shocked all the powerful, ferocious beasts. What's going on? Are we being punished? F*CKU. Something big has happened. The 10,000-year Azure Dragon Tribe also exploded. In a world of ice and snow, an ice crystal island floated in the void. Frost was everywhere on the island. 5 figures stood in the main hall. They were the highest echelons of the ice calamity dragons. Are we really going to form an alliance with those guys? Can we trust them? No, but we do need to borrow their strength to take back the historical text that belongs to our dragon tribe. Only then can we know where the divine dragon ancestors put the secret treasure. If you ask a tiger for its skin, it will eventually eat you. I don't agree with helping them invade the human race. It might lead our tribe to extinction. We're limited by the barren state. If we don't make a breakthrough, we'll be destroyed sooner or later. Instead of waiting for death, why don't we give a try? Just as the two grand ancestors and the three supreme elders of the ice calamity dragons were discussing, a violent and ferocious thunder aura descended. The five of them were shocked. Why is Thunder Prison's aura in the territory of the ice calamity dragons? Chapter 699. Storms that were hundreds of meters long danced in the sky, while towering tornadoes whipped up gray wind blades. Only the Dragon Palace in the middle of the valley remained standing between heaven and earth. This was the main palace of the fallen Wind Dragon family, the territory of the fallen Wind Dragon family. Inside the Heavenly Fall Palace, the family master, two ancestral masters, and two grand elders sat with solemn expressions. After a long silence, the five exchanged a look and said, "Let's join forces. Let's deal with the spiritual state together." As soon as he finished speaking, an earth-shattering explosion tore through the clouds. Lightning streaked across the sky and tore apart the meteorite wind barrier near the Heavenly Meteorite Hall. The expressions of the five people changed slightly. They stood up and stared toward the southeast as they spoke in disbelief. That person hasn't left yet, and he's coming toward us? No, it seems to be the presence of Thunder Prison of the Thunder Dragon family. How come Thunder Prison is moving? What happened? Let's go out and take a look. Within 4 days, Lin Shan caught up to Thunder Hell and chased it all the way. Everywhere he passed, everything exploded. Besides the Thunder Dragon family and the Dark Dragon family, the Flame Dragon family, the Winged Dragon family, the Dark Azure Dragon family, the Ice Calamity Dragon family, and the Fallen Wind Dragon family all exploded. In the territories of the 10 dragon families, 7 of the 10 dragon families were thrown into chaos and spiraled into the sky. More than half of the territories of the 10 dragon families were turned upside down by Lin Shan. Every time he passed through a new territory of the 10 dragon families, a large number of top-level masters would join his team to hunt him down. The whole dragon family was turned upside down. Meanwhile, an unprecedented storm gathered in the Heavenly Saint Square on the Holy Dragon Plain. This storm was no less powerful than the top-level forces of the 6 fake god families. In the East District of the 10 dragon families, a group of dragons in human form stood in the void in the lush and flourishing area. Before the clouds, a girl with crystal green dragon horns pointed in the direction of the Holy Dragon Plain and asked curiously, "Great-grandpa, are we really not going to help him? Didn't you say that he's the only legend since the prehistoric times?" The azure-robed old man beside him shook his head and smiled bitterly. "It's not that great-grandfather doesn't want to help. It's just that the 7 clans have already formed an alliance with that fake god. They share a common enemy. If we act, we'll definitely be attacked by the 7 clans." The 2 women in snow-white robes gritted their teeth and scolded angrily. These guys have really forgotten the teachings of our ancestors. They don't even think about who killed our ancestors. The white-robed old man with the demeanor of a transcendent being stroked his beard and said, Nowadays, the various clan leaders are wary of each other, but they are also cooperating with each other. They want to pursue a stronger realm and don't want to be trapped in a cocoon of their own making. In order to pursue power, they can give up everything. How could those fellows let go of this opportunity? If our ancestors knew about this in the underworld, I'm afraid they would be fuming with anger. Their descendants actually cooperated with the masterminds behind their deaths. The white-robed ancestor's aura was restrained and strong. Except for the faint traces of dragon scales on his neck, he was almost the same as a human. The leaders of the 7 clans have wild ambitions. If we let them succeed, I'm afraid they'll turn around and attack our 3 clans in the future. It's time to change. A middle-aged man with a pair of sword-like eyebrows crossed his arms in front of his chest. His eyes shone with a sharp light. Let's wait and see how this Lin Shan turns out. Right now, This brat has turned the 7 clans upside down. The clan leaders of the 7 clans have all gathered here. This one ends so easily. If he can't survive this crisis, who knows, we might even be able to work together with him. Above the sacred dragon plains, the thunder prison flew rapidly. Many experts didn't dare to approach without permission. Lin Shun seized the opportunity and shot an arrow. The arrow pierced through the thunder prison spirit. The 7 transformations superimposed on the ultimate moment, and a palm shot out one. 5 million points of slowing runes. As the void froze, he grabbed the thunder prison spirit. Gee. This was a thunder serpent covered in green lightning. In Lin Chen's hand, it constantly let out screeches. This was the intelligent spiritual body that controlled the entire thunder prison. Lin Chen touched its surface with one hand. The lightning bubble with 1934 on its body fused into Lin Chen's arm. As the attribute value increased, the energy of the thunder prison spirit became even thinner. The moment Lin Shun grabbed the thunder prison spirit, the Dragon Emperor's dragon body expanded to its maximum size and swept away all the lightning bubbles in the thunder prison. The system screen flickered, and Lin Chen's special attribute value soared. Heavenly Thunder attribute value has reached 44,850 points. The system automatically consumed 400,000 Heavenly Dao points to create the Sure Kill skill. 5 lightning strikes twice. The Thunder Serpent in his hand let out an unwilling shriek. Lin Shun sent a strand of spiritual power to its surface. The Thunder Serpent was stunned. When this strand of spiritual power entered its body, its eyes became brighter and brighter. From time to time, it would have a thoughtful expression. Its intelligence became more complete, and it even had part of Lin Chen's battle skill memory. The powerful thunder source is the reason why you can't complete the high-level spirit gathering. I've taken it away, but I've also helped you complete the last step of this spirit gathering. You'll have to rely on yourself in the future. Lin Chun let go of the thunder serpent. It looked at Lin Chen a few times in confusion before flying away. Before leaving, the little thunder serpent looked back at Lin Chen a few times. This was the first living being that had truly completed spirit gathering. Whoosh! Space fluctuated, and Byra Oyan appeared from the snow-white jade scroll and stood beside Lin Chun. Brother Lin Chun, are you sure you can deal with this situation? Byra Oyan's expression was serious. Lin Chun turned around, and the Dragon Emperor lay beside them. At this time, countless experts had gathered outside the St. Dragon Plaza. The scale of the top experts had surpassed the lineup of the 6 fake god families that day. Out of the 10 great dragon clans, a total of 7 had come. The 7 dragon clan leaders had all gathered together. As for the dragon clan ancestors, there were 14 of them. As for the supreme elders, there were 18 of them. Not to mention, there was also Long Can and the young man in green who was suspected to be a fake god clone. All of them were experts comparable to 9th level combat emperors and above. Facing any one of them, the current Lin Shun would have to go all out. Under the premise that all of them were gathered without the God Slayer talent, Lin Shun, his Dragon Emperor, and Byra Oyan together, they probably wouldn't be able to last more than 10 rounds. When the thunder clouds dissipated and thunder prison slowly disappeared between heaven and earth, the experts who were chasing after them all had serious expressions. This kid actually settled thunder prison so quickly. Don't worry, I have my own ways. Lin Chen smiled. Holding Byron's snow-white and soft hand, he stepped onto the altar of the St. Dragon Plaza and looked down at the experts from all sides. Indeed, he didn't have the God Slayer talent now, and his strength couldn't deal with such a lineup. However, he had a more efficient method than the God Slayer talent. What is he doing? Is he going to descend on the Dragon Emperor's bell on the altar of the plaza? No matter what he wants to do, today, the 7 clans have gathered together. He can't escape even if he has wings. At this time, the young man in green stood out and smiled faintly as he faced the clan leaders and ancestors. Since everyone has chased us here, I think we all have the same idea. Since we're going to work together to deal with the spiritual state in the future, why don't we eliminate the biggest variable of the spiritual state first? Chapter 700. The dragons looked at each other and nodded. Those who had chased Lin Shen all the way here had already made their stance clear. You must hand this little bastard over to me later. My Red Lotus Flaming Dragon clan is absolutely irreconcilable with this kid. If I don't torture him to pieces, I won't be able to get rid of the hatred in my heart. Mo Tianming's hair was messy as he spoke furiously. Some of the ancestors glanced at him curiously. How did the shrewd Mo Tianming become like this? Clang. Rumble. At this moment, Lin Shen landed on the sacred dragon plaza. The bronze dragon emperor bell, that was hundreds of feet tall, was broken by Lin Shen's kick. This dragon emperor bell was left behind by the previous dragon clan leader. The dragon clan leader was the person in charge of the 10 clans and held the highest authority in the dragon clan. However, after many changes in history, the current 10 great dragon clans only had clan leaders and no dragon clan leader. And this bell had been passed down since ancient times. It represented the proud and extraordinary history of the dragon clan. Every time there was a major event or battle, the 10 great dragon clans would gather here and ring this bell to remember the history of the dragon clan. Now, it was actually broken by Lin Shen's kick. The dragon emperor shrunk to a size of 10,000 feet and raised the dragon emperor bell for Lin Shen with its claws. Lin Shen stood in front of the broken bell and circulated his energy in his dantian. Then, he let out a thunderous roar that shook the sky. All dragon clans, listen up. I, Lin Shen, am not targeting any particular dragon. I just want to say that the dragon clan that wants to be the dog of a fake god is a bunch of F***king trash. Those who are not convinced, step forward. I will hammer all of you to death on behalf of your dragon clan's ancestors. Buzz, buzz, rumble. The earth shook, and countless mountains in the distance were shattered into dust. The clouds dispersed, and the sound of the Dragon Emperor bell mixed with Lin Shen's thunderous roar spread out like a sound wave. The sound wave was like an unprecedented hurricane. With a boom, it began to spread from the Sacred Dragon Plaza and gradually spread to even further places. More and more living beings in the 10 Dragon territories heard Lin Shen's announcement. The sound wave spread out over 1,000,000 li, sweeping outwards. Countless creatures heard this announcement. That was like judgment. This sounds like the Dragon Emperor's bell, right? The Dragon Emperor's bell is mixed with a human voice. What does it mean to be a dog for a fake god? It's that human Lin Shen's voice. He actually ran to the location of the Dragon Emperor's bell. Many high-level dragons turned to look in the direction of the Sacred Dragon Square. The mouths of the experts of the 7 dragon races twitched wildly, and they were almost fuming with rage. This kid actually used the Dragon Emperor's bell of the previous dragon clan as a trumpet. This was 2F***king bullying. This was the Dragon Emperor bell that the dragon clan would only ring when it affected the entire clan. How could a human use it as a trumpet? The experts of the 3 clans in the eastern region. The girl with green dragon horns stared at Lin Shen in the Sacred Dragon Square with sparkling eyes. He actually broke the Dragon Emperor's bell and used it to transmit his voice. Ha ha ha. As expected of the guy who turned the Hun clan upside down. This kid is really full of surprises. The girl's great-grandfather laughed heartily and then said, with these guys in the Dragon clan, the Dragon Emperor's bell is meaningless. If this kid can teach these guys a lesson on behalf of our ancestors will be able to rest in peace. I like this kid's temper. If he's unhappy, he'll do it. He's a bit like us in the past. The experts of the 3 clans showed a good impression of Lin Shen, but their expressions were even more serious. With the experts of the 7 clans gathered, it was almost impossible for him to break through. Damn it. Now that we don't have Thunder Prison, let's quickly kill this kid. Don't let him continue to be so presumptuous. The old ancestor of the Umbra Heavenly Dragon scolded angrily, but was stopped by Luo Yu. Don't act rashly. If you want to attack, let's attack together. This kid has a very strange, secret technique that can summon an extremely strong flame. It can lock on all of us. The attack can't be dodged at all. Its destructive power is extremely strong. When this matter was mentioned, even the green-robed youth stood out and said, "Yes, this kind of attack is locked on to the living body. Even I have never seen it before. You guys should prepare in advance. Either don't attack or attack together. Don't give this kid any chance." When this was said, the expressions of many experts became even more serious. There is actually such a mysterious divine ability in this world that couldn't be dodged. This was said by the true God, an attack that even he had never seen before. How could this kid be so strange? The experts of the 7 clans scattered and formed a new encirclement. Boom! Colorful dragon breath light pillars shot up to the sky like fireworks. They began to rise from the surroundings of the sacred dragon square, sealing the space within hundreds of thousands of miles. Even a late 9th stage combat emperor couldn't break out of the spatial enchantment formed by the experts. In view of the lesson that the 2 clans were taught by the Red Lotus karmic fire, the battle this time was all fought by the top experts of the 7 clans. Those below the 9th stage combat emperor didn't plan to participate in this encirclement. With a bang, Lin Shun put down the Dragon Emperor bell and raised his middle finger towards the experts of the 7 clans. He said jokingly, "If you don't agree, stand out. Let me make it clear first. I am a person who strongly demands the fairest, the most just, and the most open. When I fight, I only ask for one-on-one fights. If it's not a one-on-one fight, I won't fight." The experts of the 7 clans almost sneered out loud. At this point in time, who the hell would be fair with you? Is there something wrong with your head? Of course, it's me, Lin Shun, who will fight you bunch of idiots alone. Lin Shun added another sentence, causing the experts of the 7 clans to be so angry that their veins were popping out. Just as the experts of the 7 clans were about to attack, Lin Shun suddenly raised his hand. "Hold on, I have something to say. Please listen carefully." The experts of the 7 clans frowned. While setting up the spatial enchantment, they wanted to see what other tricks this brat had up his sleeves. Everyone must be curious as to why a handsome guy like me can still be so calm under such circumstances, right? To be honest, I will only use this today to fight all of you. The moment Lin Shun extended his hand, the experts of the 7 great dragon races stared at each other in bewilderment, their faces filled with confusion. They saw that Lin Shun only raised 2 fingers. His gesture was a little strange. It was his right index finger and middle finger. What does that mean? 2 fingers? Or 2 moves? Or 2 people? While the ancestors and patriarchs of the dragon clans were pondering, Lin Shun smiled casually. "It's a snap of 2 fingers. With just a snap of the fingers, I, Lin Shun, will make all of you call me daddy today." Silence, a deathly silence. The atmosphere outside the square was frozen for a short moment. It was a little strange. What a F*** king joke. You want to defeat us with 2 fingers? Strength aside, in terms of bragging, this old man is convinced by this Lin Shun. Yes, he has a rich imagination. He's a talent. He's dreaming. He's dreaming. Some of the experts of the 7 clans were so angry that they laughed. Some shook their heads and laughed. Some were furious and wanted to kill. The corners of their mouths twitched violently. They felt extremely humiliated. 2 fingers? Don't young people nowadays use their brains to brag? Chapter 701. 2 fingers? Great-grandfather. Is he serious? Above the clouds outside the sacred dragon plaza, a beautiful girl with green dragon horns asked the old man beside her curiously. This, logically speaking, should be impossible. The sage-like white-robed old man smiled helplessly. Even he could not see through Lin Shun's trump card and confidence to face such a lineup. This was almost 2/3 of the upper echelons of the Dragon Clan. It was even more terrifying than the battle strength of a large province. Whether he could leave this place alive was already a problem, let alone defeat them with 2 fingers. In the entire 9 provinces, unless it was a Saint Realm expert or a combat emperor above the late 9th level, No living creature could defeat any one of them with just 2 fingers, let alone all of them. Outside the Sacred Dragon Plaza, the green-robed young man's eyes suddenly turned cold as he shouted coldly. The spatial barrier is set up. Attack! The experts of the 7 great dragon clans looked at each other, and their auras surged. Rumble! The 7 clan leaders, 14 ancestors, and 18 grand elders all activated their true forms at the same time. Dragon light shone brightly, and dragon breath surged like a tide. The endless dragon breath seemed to swallow the sky, and the power of the waves rushed to the 9 heavens, shocking the ancients and dazzling the contemporaries. The top experts of the 7 great dragon clans all transformed into their true forms. Dozens of ancient dragons that were tens of thousands of feet long and hundreds of thousands of feet long appeared. At this moment, clouds moved in all directions, and mountains and rivers turned to ashes. This was a scene that would be unforgettable for the rest of one's life. Since the ancient times, there had never been so many powerful dragon clans appearing. Their dragon bodies were either dark green or white or red, and every dragon scale was shining brightly. Their dragon claws were like veins and rivers, and their heads were engraved with the marks of the ancient dragon clan. Their dragon tails, dragon wings, dragon bodies, and dragon heads were all symbols of the immortal dragon clan civilization. As far as the eye could see, dragons danced wildly, and dragon breath filled the sky. It was as if the ruins of the ancient dragon clan had suddenly descended, majestic and indestructible. Streaks of dragon breath formed a heavenly river that hung high in the sky. When they flew over, they swept up a hurricane that could destroy everything and rushed toward Linshun from all directions. Just the power alone was like the sun and moon in the sky, the rivers flowing on the earth, and the stars moving. Byroyan's pretty face was solemn. This aura was too terrifying. No matter how much she trusted Linshun, she could not help but ignite the eternal sacred fire in her palm. She was ready to reach the holy fire level. If anything happened to Linshun, she would risk her life to activate the holy fire level. At this moment, Lin Shen's face was filled with fanaticism and excitement, and he was mumbling to himself, "That's right. Closer, closer, come closer." Lin Chen did not attack immediately. Instead, he stood on the altar of the Dragon Emperor's bell and watched as the dozens of primordial dragons flew towards him. It was as if everything in the world had stopped at this moment. Lin Chen could clearly hear his own excited heartbeat. Now, Lin Chen's eyes flashed like lightning. His mind suddenly connected with the system and activated his Sure Kill skill. The host has activated the Sure Kill skill, 5 Thunders Bombardment. Within a radius of 100,000 miles, all hostile entities have been targeted. TSK. Bang! A thunderous explosion surged into the sky. Dazzling 5-colored thunderclouds appeared and covered the heads of every dragon, including Long Can, Long Yu, and the green-robed young man. What is this? Damn it, we can't dodge it. Could this be that kid's trump card? Don't panic. This kid doesn't even have the strength of a rank 7 cultivation level. He can't unleash a fatal attack on us. The 5-colored thundercloud was like a calamity in the glorious destiny. Enveloped the dragons instantly. Even the green-robed young man's eyes could not help but tremble slightly. The 5-colored thundercloud was brewing with an apocalyptic might. Something's wrong. Retreat. Almost in a flash, the green-robed young man was the only one who realized the severity of the problem. He retreated immediately, but it was to no avail. Lin Shen smiled coldly and raised his hand above his head. His 2 fingers touched, and with a snap, he snapped his fingers. Snap! The moment he snapped his fingers, the sky exploded. Boom! The 5-colored thundercloud suddenly exploded and a 10,000 feet thick 5-colored thunderbolt struck down, descending on the bodies of the many dragons. Bang! 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 The terrifying, thunderous explosion shattered the void. The aftershock of the sound wave spread hundreds of thousands of miles away, and still shook the world. In the clouds millions of miles away, the expressions of the experts of the other three races changed. They were still worried about Lin Chen a moment ago, but the next moment they revealed bone-deep fear. When the five-colored thunderbolt struck down, it was as if the brilliant heavenly might had sent down a calamitous calamity to punish all living beings. Roar! What kind of thunderbolt is this? It hurts so much. Why? Why can't I dodge? How can it be so powerful? The dragon screamed in pain. The five-colored thunderbolt pierced through a large number of dragon bodies. Dragon blood spurted out violently, and their flesh was badly mutilated. The indestructible and glorious dragon scales were instantly torn apart, penetrated, shattered, and penetrated by the five-colored thunderbolt. A sea of dragons and beasts prostrated themselves on the ground at this moment, as if they had encountered some kind of calamity. All living beings had instincts, and there was no need to mention high-grade feral beasts. They could completely sense the terror of the five-blow thunderstruck, this time, through their instincts. It's too scary. This young man still has such a trick up his sleeve. The two old ancestors of the three races revealed an unprecedented fear. Even they, who were comparable to late ninth-level combat emperors, could feel it clearly. If they were caught in the center of the thunderbolt, even they would have to pay a bloody price. This is simply a calamity that can destroy the world. The white-robed old man's palm trembled, and a rare fluctuation appeared on his face. The young dragon girl with green dragon horns stared blankly at the silver-robed young man standing proudly on the altar. Her beautiful eyes flashed with extraordinary splendor, and for a moment she was stunned. It was an incomparably mystical scene. The shocking five-colored thunderbolt flashed between the heaven and earth, illuminating the tall figure standing in the midst of the violent wind. He stood proudly on the peak of the altar with his back against the endless mountains and rivers. After snapping his fingers, he raised his finger high above his head and angrily pointed at the blue dome of heaven. The violent wind danced, blowing his silver robe and causing it to flutter. As his hair fluttered, the corner of his mouth was revealed to be overflowing with an arrogant smile, revealing his pure white teeth, making him look devilishly charming and handsome. Those patriarchs of the dragon kind who had created countless histories of the dragon kind, and those legendary leaders of the dragon kind, all burst into heart-wrenching screams and howls in front of Ji Hao. They rolled in the air and fell to the ground, destroying countless mountains and rivers. At this moment, when the heaven and earth were falling apart, he was like the master who controlled everything. He stood in the center of the heaven and earth with an indifferent expression, causing the young dragon girl's heart to tremble. Even Bai Ruoyan was so shocked that she covered her red lips with her jade-like hand. This scene was too shocking. Those who were struck down were the patriarchs of the dragon race who stood at the peak of the 9 prefectures. They were definitely not small fries. Every single one of them was a supreme existence that could control the fate of hundreds of millions of creatures. However, in just an instant, they were sent rolling on the ground and were on the verge of death. In the world in Lin Chen's eyes, countless attribute light balls were rolling down. There were hundreds, thousands, and even tens of thousands of them. The light of the attribute light balls dyed the entire sky. This was an incomparably beautiful and gorgeous scene. Lin Chen put on the sunglasses that he made with a black crystal chip. Looking at this scene from afar, he sighed deeply. If you're handsome and don't act cool, you'll be struck by lightning. For a man who's handsome to this degree, acting cool is a luxury. Speaking of which, why is this lightning so dazzling? It's almost blinding my handsome eyes. Lin Chen put on the sunglasses and opened his arms. Bathed in the center of the countless 5-colored thunderbolts, he suddenly shouted towards the sky. If the heavens didn't give birth to me, the world would be as dark as night. Bai Ruoyan thought, why do I suddenly feel like hitting him? Chapter 702. The dragon race's patriarchs, and grand elders all used the trump cards that they had kept hidden for countless years. In order to withstand the power of the five-blow thunderstruck, they were not stingy at all for the sake of preserving their lives. Chi, chi. The sound of flesh being pierced rang out incessantly. Mo Tianming was the first to roll his eyes and fall from the sky, dying with grievances. Following closely was Luo Yu. It was charred black from the five-blow thunderstruck and finally died. It did not last until the very last moment, and its aura dissipated. The deaths continued, and in a series, another two grand elders who were comparable to mid-stage ninth heaven fell. They also could not withstand the bombardment of the five-blow thunderstruck. Swoosh, swoosh. Space cracked open, and the dragon shadow entered. The experts of the 7 great dragon races all used their abilities. At this moment, no one cared about the life and death of the others. There was only one word: escape. The moment the bombardment of the 5-colored thunderbolts stopped, the charred ground gradually revealed itself. Several deep pits spanning tens of thousands of feet were spread out, and many dragon corpses lay everywhere. At a rough glance, 7 dragons had died. 3 of them were patriarchs of the dragon race, and 4 were grand elders. They had all died under the 5-blow thunderstruck. The others were all heavily injured or severely crippled, and their dragon veins were damaged. If they did not have a heaven-defying opportunity to change their fates, they would never have the chance to return to their peak. In the Sacred Dragon Square, Host has received 46 million Qi and blood energy, 80,000 talent points, 40,000 heavenly Tao points, 90,000 runes of energy, 89 million battle aura essence, 390 points of spiritual power, 26, 300,000 points of battle aura essence, 29, 85 points of battle aura essence, 400,000 points of cultivation technique essence, 1,485 points of darkness type energy. Countless attribute light balls were absorbed into the Dragon Emperor's body. The attribute light balls obtained this time were even more terrifying than the Red Lotus flaming dragon races. Among them, there were 3 orange crystal treasure chests floating in the air. In this battle, countless dragon race patriarchs and grand elders were heavily injured, and even that green rogue youth was forced to retreat. In terms of battle results, it was even more perverse than when Lin Shun destroyed the guardian array of the fake god family. Lin Shun excitedly grabbed the 3 orange treasure chests. The moment he opened the 3 orange crystal chests, a brand new shard of orange light floated in the air. In addition, there was also a jade pot that was flowing with orange light. It was very mysterious, and it was the first time Lin Shun had seen it. 3 orange crystal treasure chests have been opened. The host has received orange grade one-time use talent fragments. Godslayer fragment, 2/3, orange grade talent enhancer, 20 million intermediate ability soul essences. F*CK. Lin Shun was so surprised that he almost jumped up. A Godslayer fragment and a large number of cultivation technique soul essences? What he lacked the most right now was the attribute points for martial art essences, annihilation, 7 ultimate force, and infinite dark steps. These 3 ultimate techniques all required a massive amount of martial art essences. These 20 million cultivation method soul essences had come at the right time. Orange talent enhancer? What the hell is this? After the ecstasy, Lin Shun was somewhat dumbfounded. He knew that talents could be leveled up, and strengthening usually used talent points to strengthen a series of passive talents. But what was with this enhancer? Boom! Suddenly, a terrifying dragon light emerged from Lin Chen's body, interrupting his observation of the system. He looked around at the dragon light that emerged from his body. It was green with a tinge of purple and bright blue within the purple. Lin Chen's blood chi energy attribute points, which had been rising steadily, had been snatched away. No, to be precise, it had flowed in another direction, and that was his Dragon Emperor. At that moment, Lin Chen's Dragon Emperor had swallowed the bodies of the 3 clan leaders and 4 Grand Supreme Elders. Its blood chi energy was like the lava of hell, boiling hot. Its entire body erupted with a terrifying suction force, and it had even snatched away Lin Chen's blood chi energy attribute points. This is a sign that it's about to evolve. The Dragon Emperor is about to break through the 900,000th Dragon Meridian. Lin Shan was overjoyed and allowed it to snatch away most of his blood chi energy attribute points. In fact, Lin Shan could totally cut off its absorption. However, the opportunity to break through the bottleneck was extremely hard to come by. If he cut off the absorption of the attribute points, he might not be able to encounter it again. This time, he had injured the highest level of the 7 great dragon clans, and the amount of blood chi energy attribute points that had been lost was huge. Roughly speaking, it might be more than the amount of energy that Lin Shan had absorbed from 2 sacred dragon pawns. However, this might not allow Lin Shan to break through to 9 million dragon power points. Lin Shan actually had 2 million dragon power points, and he had only managed to reach 99 million dragon power points with the help of his divine strength user talent. If he absorbed all these attribute points himself, even with the divine strength user talent, he might not be able to break through this bottleneck. This was because this was an extremely high boundary that had blocked countless experts. Looking at the 9 prefectures, the 8th level combat emperor was at the top of the pyramid, but the 9th level combat emperor was at the peak. Lin Shan had killed his way through, but there were only a few dozen 9th level combat emperors, and more than a few hundred 8th level combat emperors. The levels of the two were completely different. Instead of betting on this slim possibility, it was better to let the Dragon Emperor break through to 900,000 dragon veins in one go. If the Dragon Emperor stepped in a 900,000 dragon veins, as long as he didn't encounter combat emperors like Long Qian, who had an incomplete Saint physique, he would be able to hold his own against a late-stage 9th level combat emperor. In the clouds outside the Sacred Dragon Square, the experts of the 3 clans were all dumbfounded. If it wasn't for the destructive 5-colored lightning that continuously struck down and shattered the square, they wouldn't have been able to accept the scene in front of them. They had lived for countless years in the 9 prefectures since the ancient times, and they had seen all kinds of big scenes and big waves. However, they had never seen such a King ridiculous scene. This young human from the spiritual state, Lin Shan, he actually defeated 2/3 of the Dragon Clan's combat strength with just 2 fingers and a snap of his fingers. This was not an ability that a mortal could possess. Was this guy still human? How tragic. Since the ancient times, our Dragon Clan has never had such a large number of experts die. Could this guy be from the sacred boundary? The lightning power that he summoned doesn't seem to belong to us mortals at all. This guy is too terrifying. His destructive power is comparable to that of a late-stage 9th level combat emperor. What's more terrifying is that he didn't even have a chance to dodge. What kind of move is this? Ha ha ha. It's good that they died. These traitorous dogs have bitten a hard bone this time. After the top experts of the 3 clans came back to their senses, some of them exclaimed, some of them were shocked, some of them were horrified, and some of them clapped and cheered. However, almost no one felt sorry for the dead clan masters and grand elders. The experts of the other 7 clans were sure that this guy was a traitor and had wild ambitions. If they were allowed to gain power, the 3 clans would be the first ones to be devoured. By then, the Dragon Clan civilization in the 9 prefectures would not be the 10 Dragon Clans, but the 7 Dragon Clans. The girl with green dragon horns covered her red lips with her white hand and murmured to herself with sparkling stars in her beautiful eyes. He really did it, with just 2 fingers. Without a doubt, this would be an important moment in the history of the Dragon Clan after the ancient times. For the other 7 clans, this was an unprecedented blow and heavy blow. An unprecedented legend was slowly rising. When future generations talked about him, his snap of his fingers would become one of the most incredible feats in the history of the 9 prefectures. Chapter 703. Boom! Crack! Crack! Two cracking sounds came from Lin Chen's body, like an eggshell cracking, crisp and pleasant to the ear. Congratulations to the host for advancing to the early 6th level Combat Emperor. Congratulations to the host for advancing to the middle 6th level Combat Emperor. His cultivation had broken through 2 levels in one go. Lin Chen's expression was filled with unconcealable ecstasy. If it wasn't for the young man in green who wanted to kill Lin Chen, he would have already slipped away and left the Dragon Clan. But he wanted to strangle Lin Chen in the cradle of his growth, and even mobilized all the top experts of the 7 great dragon clans to encircle and annihilate Lin Chen. If it was in the past, any expert under the Sage Realm who entered the Barren State, no matter how much of a ruckus they caused, it would be impossible to alert all the top experts of the 7 great dragon clans. Coincidentally, they had made some agreements and cooperation with the fake god, and many top experts had come out of seclusion and gathered together. Coincidentally, Lin Chen had also obtained the strongest sure kill skill of the green rank sure kill skill, the 5 thunderclaps. Everything had turned from a dangerous situation into a heaven-defying opportunity. Lin Chen's original intention was to save Yin Qinyun. If it was in the past, even if Lin Chen had the sure kill skill, no matter how much trouble he caused, it would be impossible to gather so many experts. This sure kill skill's activation could be said to be the right time, the right place, and the right people. The important factors were almost all present. Lin Chen carried the 3 huge dragon heads and put them into the spirit storage ring. Because the dragon heads were too big, only the highest grade storage ring could barely contain them. These were the dragon heads of Mo Tianming, Luo Yu, and the Shadow Sky Dragon Patriarch. Although their beast cores had been swallowed by the Dragon Emperor, the value of these dragon heads was extremely high. These were the heads of the Dragon Clan's patriarchs, and their status and value were incomparably high. If they were placed in the outside world, who knew how many top-grade secret treasures their former enemies would take out to exchange for them? Lin Chen couldn't bear to let them become the Dragon Emperor's food. At this moment, the system screen popped up again. System notification. This enhancer can only be used on orange grade talents and above. It will consume specific attribute points to greatly enhance orange grade talents. It can only be used once. The enhancement range includes one-time use orange grade talents. Lin Chen's eyes lit up. If he could strengthen an orange talent once, then wouldn't he be able to strengthen the Sun God talent and the God Slayer talent as well? I have to keep this enhancer. When the time comes, I'll see which talent I can use it on. Lin Chen's heart trembled. This thing might be a great killing machine. He only had 2 orange talents, and they were in fragmented states. If he could increase the upper limit, it would be a brand new trump card. Following that, a large screen of light appeared in Lin Chen's mind, glowing with a brand new brilliance. System notification. Version 6.0 of the Heavenly Axiom Possession System has been activated. Required for the new version: 200 million Intermediate Cultivation Techniques Soul Essences, 50 million Heavenly Tao Points, 50 million Talent Points. Version 6.0 Estimated Function. Expansion of Cultivation Technique Learning Ability, etc. Adding the strongest enhancement function in history. Cultivation Technique Enhancement, Weapon Enhancement, Mental Cultivation Technique Enhancement, Rune Enhancement. Maximum Enhancement plus 13 levels. Additional consumable attribute points, enhancement points, can be used to enhance abilities. Lin Chen was happy for less than 2 seconds. When he saw the new requirements, he almost cursed out loud. F***CK. This is F***King making things difficult for me. 200 million Intermediate Cultivation Technique Soul Essences? Are you asking me to go and rob you? Lin Chen had only obtained a few million Intermediate Cultivation Technique Soul Essences after looting the entire Hun family. He had only obtained 20 million Intermediate Cultivation Technique Soul Essences after opening an orange crystal treasure chest. 200 million points? Wouldn't that require 10 orange crystal treasure chests? The total number of orange crystal treasure chests that Lin Shun had obtained was less than 10, right? Furthermore, not every orange crystal treasure chest would produce cultivation technique soul essences. If he wanted to collect them, he would have to snatch all the cultivation technique soul essences from the entire Jiuzhou continent. Looks like the system update this time isn't going to be easy. Lin Shin smiled bitterly in his heart and exited the system. Rumble. Before Lin Shun could think too much, a pillar of light shot up from the southwest direction. The majestic aura of the ancient dragon suppressed the entire Jiuzhou continent. It was as if an unprecedented creature was about to descend upon this place. Lin Shun, run. Those old guys have activated the energy array of the sacred dragon pond. At this moment, an old man's voice that was laced with worry leaped into Lin Shen's ears. The energy array of the sacred dragon pond. Lin Shen's heart skipped a beat. This was similar to the treasures of the ancient families in the spiritual state. It was a life-saving trump card that could only be used when the entire family was in a life-or-death situation. Activating this energy array would consume the sacred dragon pond's accumulated blood pool energy. Every time it was used, it would dry up. Moreover, this dry up was even more serious than when the Red Lotus Flame Dragon clan was drained by Lin Shun. If he used this trump card a few more times, even the Sacred Dragon Pond would lose its effect forever. It was almost as if he was gambling with the future of his clan. He would not activate it unless he had no other choice. However, the various grand ancestors have been severely injured by Lin Shen's 5-blow thunderstruck and were on the verge of death. The Dragon Clan was severely injured and almost wanted to fight to the death with Lin Shun. Rumble, rumble, rumble. Another 3 beams of light shot up into the sky. Once Lin Shun activated his Golden Eyes twin, the energy waves in the 3 beams of light were enough to turn him into ashes in an instant. Oh no, this array can lock onto a very wide area. It might even cover the entire barren state. Bai Ruoyan's pretty face changed slightly. She waved her hand lightly, and the light of the eternal sacred fire flowed softly. Just as she was about to activate the sacred fire realm and fight to the death, Lin Shun grabbed her hand. Don't worry, I'm here. Lin Shun comforted her with a smile. Bai Ruoyan was stunned. She transformed into a snow-white jade scroll and disappeared into Lin Shen's arms. System: activate the super-dimensional teleportation. Teleport to the 5th position. The 5th position was the position where Yin Xinyan's clone was protected. It was also the position that was closer to Lin Shun. The previous 3 spatial coordinates all led to places that were further away, such as China and the spiritual state. During the time when Lin Shun was chasing Lei Yu, the clone had successfully covered Yin Xinyan's retreat from the barren state and arrived at the border of the cloud state. Consumed 9 million talent points to teleport the host to the 5th position. Haha, I ran away after acting cool. How exciting. Lin Shin's laughter that spread thousands of miles away was like a rolling sound wave. Whoosh! The space above his head broke open. When a beam of light shone down, Lin Shun disappeared. On the other side, the 3 Dragon Clan powerhouses who were standing on the clouds were still worried about Lin Shun. However, he disappeared in an instant right under their noses. Many powerhouses were stunned. The white-robed old man laughed and said, "It seems that we still underestimated him. No wonder he's a legendary figure who dared to break into our Dragon Clan alone. He even has such a mysterious spatial technique. We Void White Dragon Clan don't think we're as weak as him. It seems that it's time to send an emissary to negotiate with the spiritual state." The injured ancestral patriarchs who were about to activate the sacred dragon pawn array were all dumbfounded. He escaped? This brat actually escaped so easily? Then, wouldn't the sacrifice of the clan leaders of the 7 dragon clans and the injuries of all their higher-ups be in vain? Chapter 704. Roar, roar, roar. Roars filled with anger and unwillingness resonated in the central region of the barren state from the 7 dragon tribes. On this day, the dragon tribes had passed the darkest turning point in their history. It was because they had provoked someone they shouldn't have provoked. In a small continent in the endless starry sky, a short young man sat cross-legged in the void. He suddenly opened his eyes, and the fate of the heavens and the earth seemed to be rotating. Damn mortal brat. I spent so much effort to form this clone and absorbed so much blood of fortune-tellers to make up for it. How dare you mess it up again? When I arrive at the spiritual state, I'll chew your bones and devour your flesh. The youth revealed a mouthful of yellow teeth, baring his teeth as he roared. In a desert at the border of the cloud state. After the spatial light beam broke, Lin Shun returned to Yin Qinyun's side. I didn't expect my luck to be so good this time. Even though he had escaped from danger, Lin Shun couldn't help but feel ecstatic. This experience of breaking into the dragon tribes couldn't be more satisfying. Of course, this satisfaction wasn't just about obtaining a large number of elemental light balls. More importantly, he was able to severely wound the 7 dragon tribes. These guys had made it clear that they wanted to cooperate with the fake gods. In other words, they were Lin Shen's direct enemies, and they would inevitably be his mortal enemies when he attacked the spiritual state in the future. Being able to gather them and inflict heavy damage on them. From a certain point of view, this ending was Lin Shen's greatest gain from this operation. Otherwise, the 7 dragon tribes, the remaining forces of the 6 fake god families, and the 6 ancestral masters would be enough to suppress the entire spiritual state. However, due to Lin Shen's 5 lightning strike, it was almost impossible for the 7 dragon tribes to send out any more top-notch experts. At most, they would send out some supreme elders who were comparable to 8th level combat emperors and 7th level high gray dragons. Although this was a powerful force, without the support of the top masters, their combat strength would be greatly reduced. Lin Shun, are we going back to the spiritual state directly? While Yin Qinyun was about to ask, Lin Shun suddenly pulled her into his arms. Yin Qinyun, who had always been calm and elegant, blushed as she pretended to be fierce. Stinky egg, are you addicted to being a hooligan? The moment Lin Shun hugged Yin Qinyun tightly, he immediately activated the Azure Dragon Shadow. His aura disappeared, and even Yin Qinyun's aura became transparent. The snow-white jade slip in his bosom kept tightening his skin and flesh, causing him to suck in cold breaths of air from the pain. Offending 2 great beauties in one go, he was really King wronged. Sister Rowan, it hurts. Why, you've wronged me. I only noticed that someone was coming. Lin Shun raised his finger and pointed toward the southwest. A giant flying ship was approaching at an extremely fast speed, cutting through the clouds. This is... Yin Qinyun was puzzled. There are people from the fake god families up there. I can sense their auras. I just wanted to hide. I didn't take advantage of you. Lin Feng is such a handsome guy. Am I the kind of person who has no integrity, no shame, and no self-awareness? Lin Shen shouted that he was wronged. Of course, he, who was self-righteous, unconsciously hugged her even tighter. Yin Qinyun rolled her eyes at him charmingly. Her cheeks were as red as a peach, but she couldn't resist too much. After struggling for a while, she calmed down in Lin Shen's arms. At this time, Lin Shen's eyes flashed fiercely. Boom! Suddenly, the flying ship exploded into a stream of light and fell into the desert. When the battle chi exploded, it created a giant pit that was thousands of feet wide. In the giant pit, there was an expert bathed in blood. His aura had collapsed, and it was obvious that he had suffered a fatal injury. You people from the real god families actually went back on your words. After struggling for a while, the yellow-robed expert who was covered in blood fainted and died. A figure stepped out of the giant ship and stood in the void. He stretched out his hand, and the spirit storage ring on the yellow-robed man's finger was sucked away. That person flicked his sleeves and sneered. Those who don't submit to the real god families will die. The experts who were escorting the goods in the giant ship trembled and didn't dare to say anything. Clang! Bang! Suddenly, the giant ship let out a horrifying sound of metal colliding. A terrifying airwave shook the void, and the entire ship was overturned. Who is it? How dare you offend the Jin family of the real god families? Are you looking for death? The elder of the Jin family, Jin Chantian, who was floating in the air, shouted angrily. Swoosh! 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 Dozens of people with the aura of combat emperors flew out of the ship and stabilized it. They were ready to fight. Two young figures slowly appeared at the spot where the ship was overturned. The young man in a silver robe smiled and rubbed his palms. I'm going to fight your King Jin family. I didn't expect to meet a bunch of cheese here. Jin Changtian's expression changed. He couldn't be wrong about this person. This was the young man who had turned the entire divine land upside down. He was the invincible existence who fought against the 6 real god families alone. Lin Chun, it's you? Jin Changtian was so shocked that the combat emperors behind him were still in a state of shock. Who is this young man that could make the honorable elder of a real god family reveal such an expression? As soon as Jin Changtian finished his words, he suddenly stepped into the void and turned into a sword light that traveled thousands of miles. Run! With the strength of a mid-8th level combat emperor, he was courting death in front of Lin Chun. Chi! The moment he retreated, Jin Changtian tore the spatial jade slip in his palm. A grayish-white talisman shot out and fixed itself in the space in his palm, preventing the jade slip from breaking. Rumble! Lin Chun and the Dragon Emperor traveled through the void. When the Black Azure Dragon Realm was activated, it suppressed Jin Changtian's movement. A 10,000 years black light blade slashed down. Lin Chun pointed his finger at Jin Changtian. The 7 severing slash was like a sharp blade. The charging talisman and the penetrating talisman were activated. Chi! Bang! Lin Chun and the Dragon Emperor worked together and killed Jin Changtian in one blow. The dozens of combat emperors gasped, killing a mid-8th level combat emperor in an instant. What kind of a mortal was this young man? With such strength, he should be at least a 9th level combat emperor. This kind of person would be one of the top experts in the entire Yin state. There were only a few of them. When the Dragon Emperor took away all the attribute light balls that Jin Changtian dropped, Lin Chun kept the storage ring and looked at the other combat emperors. Everyone was frightened by him and the Dragon Emperor. They didn't dare to run or act rashly. Run? There was no way to run. Judging from this young master's moves, it was as easy as flipping his palm if he wanted to kill all of them. Who among you has the right to speak? Step forward. Lin Chun asked calmly. The leading 6th level combat emperor trembled. He stepped forward and cupped his fist while trembling. Your Excellency, I am the vice leader of this escort group. The leader was killed by Jin Changtian from the True God family. He was the 8th level combat emperor that you killed. Lin Chun raised his eyebrows and looked at the flying ship. He smiled casually and said, This is my first time robbing, and I didn't get anything. Isn't it inappropriate? Sure enough, the combat emperor's hearts skipped a beat. Inappropriate, very inappropriate. The vice leader broke out in cold sweat. Does this young master want to rob us too? Yin Xianyun, who was at the side, spat out a mouthful of saliva. Shameless. You are even more skilled than the flower thief next door who sneaks into a girl's room. Chapter 705. Of course not. It's just that, the vice captain stuttered. Lin Chun rebuked him coldly. What do you mean by this and that? Mother of Asterisk, this is not the first time the groom has entered the bridal chamber. Why are you stuttering? If you have anything to say, just say it. Tell me everything in 30 breaths, or I'll hammer you to death. The vice captain hurriedly said, Your Excellency, these goods and herbs were ordered by several true god families in the divine prefecture. They are specially sent to the dark assembly of Yunzhou for auction or trade. If we lose them, we will lose our heads. Please be magnanimous. Except for the goods on the ship, we are willing to hand over everything to you. The vice captain was sweating profusely. No matter which side was in trouble, he would lose his head. Oh, the goods of the false god families? Interesting. What is this dark assembly? I'll give you another 60 breaths to tell me clearly. Your Excellency, the Dark Assembly is a top-notch auction held in Yinzhou. It is located in Yunzhou's Qingcheng. Those who participate in this auction must conceal their identity and aura. It is hosted by the Fang, Bai, and Xing families of Yinzhou. All the goods circulating in the Dark Assembly are of unknown origin or smuggled goods from the Blood Prefecture. I don't know what happened this time, but several other big families in the Divine Prefecture also participated. There are all kinds of transactions. This is one of the goods to be auctioned this time. This is the first time we have come to Yinzhou. We didn't know that the true god families were so difficult to get along with. Even the captain was killed. The vice-captain's words were concise and comprehensive. Lin Chun suddenly understood. There was such a big deal in relationships. Mother asterisk her. He had encountered it today. He still had 5 below thunderstruck in his hands. If he didn't go for such a good thing, why would he wait for the new year? Seeing Lin Chen's crazy grin, Yin Qianyun was speechless. This guy must have thought of something again. He wanted to stir up trouble at any moment. Yunzhou was the largest blacksmithing prefecture. The trade was prosperous. Many weapons and precious weapons were circulated here. Therefore, the experts of various prefectures were gathered here. The scale of this Dark Assembly was so great that it could be called the top level of the 9 prefectures. Lin Shun could roughly guess that the 6 false god families wanted to do this. They were probably going to mobilize resources and secretly prepare to launch a bigger war. From the actions of the fake god's avatar, it was clear that they were secretly speeding up the preparation of many forces that they could use. Not only the Dragon Clan of the Barren State, but even the Cloud State was playing tricks in the dark. It just so happens that before I enter the demonic eye of the firmament tower, the stronger I am, the better. Although there was the demonic seal left behind by the mysterious person, the vice principal had instructed that without the strength of late-stage level 9, one should not easily approach the location of the demonic eye in the firmament tower. Since this is the case, Brother Chun, I'll rob all of them. What kind of F** king auction is this? Go and buy SH*T. After making up his mind, Lin Shin immediately put on a smile. Very well, I won't rob you. The goods will also be delivered as per normal. Everything will proceed according to the original plan. From now on, I will be your commander. Lin Shin's words were so shocking that all the battle emperors were dumbfounded. What kind of show was this? Isn't this your first time in Yinzhou? None of them have seen commander before, right? Lin Shin smiled. The vice commander understood and immediately nodded. Yes, you are right. Vice commander, what's your surname? Lin Shin meaningfully patted the vice commander's shoulder and asked jokingly. The vice commander was flattered. He bowed and cupped his fists. At ease. Lin Shin, what the F***CK is your surname? Tang. Vice Commander Tang, you continue to work in your original position. I will be the commander. Let's go to Qingcheng. Lin Shun and Yin Qianyun set off together. Coincidentally, Qingcheng of Yinzhou had paid a huge price to invite top-tier battle emperors to pass through the spatial passageways that led to other states. In Qingcheng, one could find a spatial passageway that led directly to Lingzhou. All the battle emperors were puzzled, but at least they were relieved. At least this man wasn't here for them. As long as he didn't touch the goods before entering Qingcheng, their lives would be saved. Inside the spaceship, Lin Shun and Yin Qianyun were in a secret room. He sat cross-legged and opened the system. Heavenly Path Possession System version 5.0. Host. Lin Shun Cultivation. Middle Stage 6th Level Battle Emperor Realm. Middle Stage Battle Chi Essence. 2. 8 billion points. Maximum Strength. 8. 45 million Dragon Power. Talent Enhancement. 8. 99 million. Middle Stage Chi and Blood. 4. 6 billion points. Middle Stage Mental Energy. 105,560 points. Intermediate Ascension Realm. Middle Stage Technique Essence. 28. 65 million points. Middle Stage Rune Energy. 24. 84 million points. Heavenly Path Points. 14. 23 million points. Talent Points. 18. 49 million points. Middle Stage Elemental Energy. 580,000 points for fire, 510,000 points for earth, 590,000 points for wood, 520,000 points for metal, 550,000 points for water, 600,000 points for lightning, 540,000 points for wind, 290,000 points for light, 540,000 points for dark. Technique status column, open. Bloodline status column, open. Passive talent column, open. Ultimate skill column, open. Active talent. Blue rank, God-stealing omen. Blue rank, fatal bloodthirst. Purple rank, super-dimensional teleportation. Purple rank, final moment. Purple rank, ultimate return. Purple rank one time, super counter. Purple rank one time, sovereign's descent. Orange rank one time. God Slayer, fragment 2/3. Quasi-orange rank one time. Absolute life and death. Orange rank one time. Sun God, fragment 2/3. Special rune. Slow level 5. Penetration level 5. Charge level 5. Phantom level 5. Heavenly invisibility level 5. Innate skill combination. Fatal bloodthirst. Super dimensional teleportation. Sovereign's descent. Absolute life and death. Blank attribute. 46,440 points can be converted to any attribute at will. Treasures. During this trip to the Dragon Clan, Lin Chen's biggest improvement was his cultivation and elemental attribute points. From an average of 190,000 points to an average of 500,000 points, his cultivation had even broken through 3 levels, from mid-stage 5th level to mid-stage 6th level. Lin Chen's eyes flashed as he asked the system, "System, can my blank attribute points be converted to the special attribute points required for the ultimate skill?" Answer to host, "Yes. Blank attributes can be converted to all attribute points, including consumable and non-consumable attributes." Lin Chen slapped his thigh. "Awesome. Then, wouldn't this mean that including his blank attribute, he could now use the 5-blow thunderstruck 5 times? However, Lin Chen was not in a hurry to convert to other attributes. Unless it was an emergency, he would not use this blank attribute easily. Perhaps it would become one of the most precious attribute points in Lin Chen's hands. Because in the latest version update, it was estimated that a new consumable attribute value, strengthening points, would be added. According to the information revealed by the system, the strengthening function of version 6.0 would be the system's strongest function. System, I want to use 10 million points of intermediate skill essence to learn infinite dark steps. Chapter 706. Although the new version of the system required a large amount of cultivation technique essence, it was impossible to accumulate 200 million cultivation technique essence using normal methods. Rather than leaving it in the system, it was better to use it perfectly on the spot. In this period of change, Lin Chen's current combat strength was the most important thing. Lin Chen prioritized learning the infinite dark steps. It could allow Lin Chen to instantly improve his combat strength. Comprehensive combat, escape, and combat all depended on it. With the improvement of the movement technique, the strength of the doppelganger would also increase. Consume 10 million middle-level cultivation technique essence to begin learning infinite dark steps. The cultivation memories entered his mind, and Lin Chen quickly fused them. In less than half a day, the proficiency of infinite dark steps had reached 80%. There was only one step left before it reached the peak. Lin Chen still had more than 18 million cultivation technique essence left. Although he could learn the infinite dark steps to the peak, he needed to improve in another area. I'll use the remaining 18 million cultivation technique essence to learn 7 extremes force. System received. Consumed 18 million cultivation technique essence to begin learning 7 extremes force. Another half a day passed. The flying ship hurried through the night. The experts of the merchant group did not dare to act rashly, fearing that the master in the ship would be angry. Lin Chen had successfully raised the 7 extremes force to 56%. Other than the cutting force, Lin Chen could also perfectly use the ripping force, pulling force, and the fourth twisting force. His combat strength had soared. When Lin Shen opened his eyes, Yin Qianyun was seriously looking out the window of the secret room. "We're here." The clouds parted and the flying ship arrived beside a simple and tall city wall. This was Qingsheng. The merchant group that Lin Shen had kidnapped was the Bright Sword Merchant Group from the Cloud region. When the vice leader entered the city, he had shown his identification and passed through the inspection without any problems. Due to the fact that the 6 great aristocratic families had asked many merchant groups to come, they did not specify which merchant group the elders of the true god aristocratic families would come with. Therefore, the inspection in Qingsheng City would only recognize the exclusive tokens of the merchant groups. As soon as they entered the city, Lin Shen could feel the ancient aura of Qingsheng from the airship. When he looked down, he realized that in terms of size, Lin Shen had seen many cities that were much larger than Qingsheng. However, in terms of history, this place was the oldest. No one knew what kind of things were lurking in this place. From the outside and inside, Qingsheng looked like an ancient city ruins that wouldn't attract too much attention. There were very few Yuan venerates, and only a few mortals below the Heaven Dipper realm. In the sky above Qingsheng, there was an extremely hidden layer of spatial plating. As long as one entered this area, everything would disappear from the outside world. The concealment ability was extremely high. Everything that was displayed in Qingsheng didn't seem like a place where a top-level auction was being held. From the appearance and the actual number of people present, it seemed more like an ordinary ancient city. In the eyes of ordinary powerhouses, they wouldn't even notice such a place. However, Lin Shen's purple-gold eyes saw a hidden valley at the southeast border of Qingsheng. It was covered with a huge spatial barrier. Furthermore, there was a continuous stream of airships entering the spatial boundary. There were also some tyrannical old monsters shuttling between the spatial boundary and the outside. What a secret meeting. Interesting. Lin Shen licked his lips. He couldn't wait for more false god aristocratic families, powerhouses, to gather here. With his current cultivation and strength, not only his main body, but even his phantom doppelgangers were able to fight one-on-one against an early-stage 9th-level true god. Thinking back to when he had blocked the 2 patriarchs, he had still needed 3 phantom doppelgangers to go all out to delay them. Now, even if his doppelgangers couldn't win against an early-stage 9th-level true god, they could still fight for a long time. This was a qualitative leap. All of this was attributed to the increase in his elemental attribute and cultivation, as well as the breakthrough in his movement technique. With the addition of Byroyan and the Dragon Emperor, Lin Shen's current lineup, as long as he didn't encounter more than 9 9th-level combat emperors, would be like a bird flying in the sky. Moreover, Lin Shen still had a sure kill hidden up his sleeve. Even after arriving at Qingsheng, the Brightsword Merchant Group still didn't dare to act rashly. They didn't secretly report Lin Shen's deeds to the secret meeting. Instead, they chose to quietly stay in the clear cloud pavilion. At night, Lin Shen paid the relevant fees in the name of the merchant group's leader and entered the Spirit Palace. At the end of the palace, there was a 300-meter-tall spatial tunnel entrance. Because the secret meeting hadn't started yet, no one was using the spatial tunnel yet. Be careful, Yin Qianyun warned Lin Shen before entering the spatial tunnel. Lin Shen nodded with a smile. Suddenly, the usually reserved Yin Qianyun took the initiative to hug Lin Shen and said softly, "I'll wait for you in the spirit state." Lin Shen was startled. The beauty let go of him and smiled sweetly. With a wave of her hand, the spatial ship unfolded and flew into the spatial tunnel. They looked at each other before they parted. Everything was understood without words. Heya, being handsome isn't that bad after all. Lin Shen rubbed his nose, chuckled, and turned to leave. Late at night, Lin Shen put on a black robe specially made by the secret meeting and entered the consignment hall. This was because he also wanted to consign something for auction. Moreover, the thing he wanted to consign was the only one in the 9 states. The consignment hall was vast and spacious. Countless experts had brought treasures to consign for auction and were about to enter the secret meeting for auction. These experts were all wearing the black robe of the secret meeting. Their auras were chaotic, and others couldn't detect their true identities. Among them, there were even many experts who brought their slaves to consign for auction. Female slaves, male slaves, mixed beastmen slaves, and even combat emperors were all consigned for auction. This secret meeting has some skills. Even with my spirit energy, I can't detect the foundation of these people. Lin Chen exclaimed inwardly. After putting on the black robe, he dragged a cage covered with black gauze and walked straight to a specific secret room. Inside the secret room, iron bars were set up and a spatial barrier was set up. On the other side of the iron bars was an old figure. He asked with a muffled and hoarse voice, "What treasure would you like to consign for auction?" Lin Shun crossed his legs and pointed at the cage behind him. "The item I'm consigning for auction is the only one in the 9 states. You don't have the qualifications to appraise it. Call your boss here." With a hint of anger and doubt, the old man sneered, "Sir, you are too arrogant." This old man is Lu Qingyun, one of the top 10 appraisers of the secret meeting. What treasure can escape this old man's eyes? Feel free to lay your cards on the table. No, the value of my item isn't something an appraiser can estimate. Call someone. Lin Chen laughed mockingly. Lu Qingyun was about to explode when a fragrant wind blew into his nose. A beautiful woman in red robes walked into the secret room. She looked at Lin Shan with her charming eyes and smiled sweetly. "I am one of the organizers of this secret meeting, Xing Mei Er. I can also be considered as one of the bosses. With my guarantee, there shouldn't be too many problems. Sir, please show your item." Lin Shan squinted his eyes under the black robe. Then, he pulled the black cloth and revealed the shadow in the cage. Xing Mei Er was stunned on the spot. Lu Qingyun, on the other hand, was stupefied. After the two of them saw it clearly, this item was indeed the only one in the 9 states. Moreover, it was unprecedented and would never be replicated. No one and nothing could compare to it. Chapter 707. When he returned to the resting area, Lin Shun received the highest standard purple level VIP token. This secret meeting is going to be very lively. I have to take this opportunity to make a fortune. Lin Shun laughed mischievously. The beauty hidden in the snow-white jade slip helplessly sighed. This fellow, in this world, there was really no one who could guess what his next move would be. In the following period of time, Lin Shun assisted the Dragon Emperor in his body to perfectly refine and absorb all the vitality attribute points. In addition to the many ferocious beast cores of the dragon race's Grand Elders, he finally broke through to 900,000 dragon veins. Finally, he stopped at 920,000 dragon veins. In terms of pure strength, the Dragon Emperor was as strong as an early-stage 9th Realm Combat Emperor. Even Lin Shun had to measure his actual combat strength in a real battle. On the morning of the 3rd day, the secret meeting was held. There was a floating island located in the skies above Qing City. A spatial enchantment had been activated to conceal the aura of the island. Numerous tyrannical auras descended upon the island. Lin Shun had also arrived on the island. The Dark Island was a special island built for the purpose of the secret meeting. It was a medium-sized island with only one super-large venue. A large number of masters began to enter the venue. Lin Shun arrived early and sat in the purple-level VIP room on the Dark Island. He opened the window and looked down at the scenery below. Many masters in black robes were sitting in the venue. At a glance, there were more than a few thousand of them. When the ancient families of the spiritual state went to war, there were only a few hundred combat Emperor Realm Masters. With Lin Shen's current insight, he could see that there were some old monsters hiding in the spiritual state. They didn't know about the affairs of the world and were like otherworldly beings. However, the total number of combat emperors in the spiritual state was less than 1,000. Yet, thousands of combat emperors were gathered here. It was obvious how high the standard of this meeting was. The Dark Gathering was held once every 100 years. and it was enough to attract many hidden old monsters. Even the War Emperor in the Firmament Tower couldn't help but come out and participate. Because of the treasures gathered in this place, they might encounter their own opportunities. The items being auctioned were all secrets. Those fakes from the fake god families are really here. Lin Shin activated his golden eyes twin and looked at the many experts present. Through the strange black robes, he could barely see some obscure clues. Sitting across from Lin Shin in the 3 purple rooms were the 5 great fake god families. Other than the Long family, all of them were present. After Ancestor Long, Ken of the Long family was struck by Lin Shin's 5-blow thunderstruck. It was hard to say where he was recuperating. The other higher-ups of the Long family might still have missions and could not show up for this secret meeting. Lin Shin had fought with the fake god family before, so he could determine their location with just a few traces. It's still so lively this time. In the venue, a woman's charming and soft voice sounded. A beautiful figure in a red robe walked up the stage with small steps. It was Xing Mei. Bang, bang, bang. More than a dozen black iron pillars fell from the sky and fell around the venue. 2 powerful spatial barriers spread out in all directions, one of them specifically protecting the stage. The experts present were all calm and composed. Thousands of people gathered in the venue, and it was incomparably quiet. After all, one more word could expose one's identity. Under such circumstances, exposing one's identity would do more harm than good to the buyer. Same old rules. I hope you don't mind. There are a total of 243 items in the auction this time, ranging from pill recipes, alchemy handprints, cultivation methods, mental cultivation methods, secret manuals, rare ores, heavenly materials, and earthly treasures, high-grade vicious beast cores, ancient relics, top-grade weapons, and treasured weapons. Among the items in the auction this time, we've temporarily added a grand finale treasure, and it's a person. Xing Mei-er's red lips curled up, and she exuded an extremely charming aura. Many experts who had lived in a mortal world for thousands of years couldn't help but have a slight reaction towards her. However, more top experts paid attention to the last sentence. A person? Could be a high-grade war emperor slave? In the past, it wasn't rare for slaves to be auctioned in the secret meeting, and it wasn't worth mentioning. Even Lin Chun couldn't help but lick his lips. His weapons were all high-grade 7th level, low-grade or high-grade. Other than the Wind Emperor Bow and the 5 Dragons Imperial Spear, Lin Shun didn't plan to change them. If he could equip his doppelganger with a new top-grade weapon, his strength would increase by a lot. After all, his opponents were all 9th level combat emperors. None of them were weak. In the surrounding void, more than a dozen invisible auras appeared. Although they were well hidden, they couldn't hide from the Golden Eyes twin. There are at least 8 9th level combat emperors. The family hosting the secret meeting is indeed powerful. Moreover, this isn't their full strength. TSK, the Jojo continent, is indeed full of crouching tigers and hidden dragons. 8 9th level combat emperors were enough to wipe out the top experts of some big states. Even in the Alliance, under the control of the Spirit of Holy Fire, there were only 3 9th level combat emperors on the surface, not counting the reclusive old monsters in the spiritual state, including Xing Zhan and Vice Academy Master Shen Lianyun. There were only 5 9th level combat emperors in the spiritual state. The combat emperors present weren't fools. They were very clear about the strength of the secret meeting. There hadn't been an accident here for 10,000 years. No one dared to cause trouble here. Without further ado, let's bring out the items for auction. The first item is a mid-grade purple level combat skill, Myriad Wind Claw Print. The seller wants to obtain a high-grade 7th level weapon or a complete cultivation method of mid-grade purple level or above. Of course, it's also acceptable if there are matching elixirs. Xingmer held up a dark green scroll, and the atmosphere gradually became lively. Lin Shun clicked his tongue in amazement. No wonder it was called the top in the Jojo continent. The first item was a mid-grade purple level combat skill. It was a top item in the Jeojo continent and the Firmament Tower. The experts who were able to enter the Dark Society no longer used spirit crystals as a unit of currency. They basically only supported bartering. In the end, the Myriad Wind Claw print was auctioned for a low-grade, high-grade 7th-level weapon. A high-grade 7th-level Raging Flame, Eagle's Beast Core. The seller wants to obtain 3 or more mid-grade 7th-level Fire Elemental Elixirs, or the same value of Firmament dollars. 4 mid-grade 7th-level mid-grade Burning Flame Elixirs. A high-grade purple-level combat skill, 100,000 Savage Dragons, a high-grade 7th-level weapon, Death Flame. A low-grade purple-level mid-grade elixir concoction technique, Yin-Yang Spirit Fusion Technique. A high-grade 7th-level elixir recipe, 9 Sun Emperor elixir recipe. From then on, treasures that could shake the big states appeared one after another. But in the secret meeting, it was quiet. Except for a few combat emperors who were bidding enthusiastically, none of the top experts made a move. Everyone was waiting, including Lin Shun. Most of the treasures up for auction were illegal goods that couldn't be circulated in the outside world. That was why they were auctioned in the secret meeting. In the first purple room, a few black-robed figures were sitting in front of the window. Father, is the thing you're talking about really here? Chapter 708. Father, is that thing you're talking about really here? A gentle and pleasant female voice came from under a thin black cloak in the corner. That's not something you should worry about. I heard that the secret gathering is a big deal. Why are you here as a girl? Why don't you go and get engaged with young Master Dongming of the Underworld State? Why are you here to make trouble for me? And you guys, why did you bring this girl here? The leader of the black-robed men scolded. Family Master, you know this girl's temper. The others smiled bitterly. The black-robed figure stretched, outlining her graceful and charming curves. I don't want to marry that young Master Dongming. The Dragon Clan only put some pressure on him, and he hid far away with the spiritual command army that he is so proud of. This kind of man is weak and cowardly. Humph. Only Prince Lin Shun of the spiritual state is worthy of being my man. He dared to break into the 6 true god families alone just for the person he loves, Ms. Ning Qingxian. Only such courage can be called a real man. The leader of the black-robed men glanced back at his daughter and said indifferently, "You haven't even seen his face, and you are in a hurry to marry him? You may want to marry him, but he might not want to marry you. Ms. Ning Qingxian of the spiritual state is no worse than you. Are you still my father?" The beautiful woman was flustered and exasperated as she questioned angrily. "It's because I'm your father that I don't want you to have such dangerous thoughts. That Lin Shun is not an ordinary person. The godly land is going to turn upside down because of him. I don't care. I don't want you to arrange a marriage for me, or I'll run away from home and go to the spiritual state." "Whoa, you think you're a pushover? Okay. You father and daughter should stop." The black-robed old men smiled bitterly, and the father and daughter turned around with a snort. After bidding for more than 200 rare treasures, the secret gathering was coming to an end. Lin Shen opened his eyes first, as if he had sensed something. "He's here." Lu Qingyun, who was at the front of the stage, began to push out an ancient box. When Xing Mei picked it up, a charming smile appeared on her face. "I'm sure everyone knows that 500 years ago, the 10,000 Sword Sect in the Blood Province had a monstrous war. The reason for the war's start will be revealed here." Xing Mei opened the ancient box. Saber light flashed chaotically, and saber chi soared to the sky. Inside the ancient box was a dragon-patterned saber that was engraved with star jades that looked like stars. It was so natural that it looked like a galaxy hanging in the sky. Lin Chen's state of mind rippled as he exclaimed in surprise, "A top-notch tier, 7 saber." Xing Mei covered her mouth and giggled. "One of the top 10 ancient sabers, glorious dragon. Grade, 7th level top, lower grade." As soon as he said this, everyone was shocked. Sure enough, this item was a peak grade 7 weapon. As soon as the saber appeared, The breathing of many experts present became somewhat rapid and heavy. In the history of the Cloud State, there had only been 9 transactions of peak Grade 7 weapons. He could only use it 3 times. Moreover, it had only happened 9 times in the history of more than 10,000 years. There were only a few peak Grade 7 weapons, and this saber was the 10th. I want this saber. At this moment, an indifferent voice was heard from the Purple Stair VIP box. Lin Shen's eyes immediately focused. It was someone from the Fake God family. Many of the experts turned their heads and looked curiously at them. Only those with sufficient power, background, and strength were qualified to enter this purple-tier private room. The people in the private room were at least mid-8th level combat emperors. All of them were famous experts in the 9 prefectures. Oh, I wonder what price you were bidding for it? Xing Mei-er's charming smile carried a trace of interest. A high-grade purple rank combat skill and a low-grade purple rank mental cultivation technique. In addition, 2 low-grade 7th level pills. As soon as he said this, the crowd couldn't help but gasp in astonishment. This price was too terrifying. There were only a few high-grade purple rank mental cultivation technique in the 9 regions and a high-grade 7th level combat skill. If these 2 items were put together in the Firmament Tower, they would be sold for more than 10 million Firmament coins. Not to mention, there are also 2 7th level pills. Currently, the number of people on the continent who could refine 7th level pills did not exceed 5. This price was really terrifying. One should know that the Saber Saint Li Chongqing's inherited skill, Bright Moon Mirror, was only a high-grade purple rank combat skill. Although the last move, Moon Mirror Imperial God, was more powerful than the original rank, this high-grade purple rank combat skill was not inferior to it. It seems like my Wind Emperor Bow is quite valuable. Lin Shen glanced at his storage ring and thought of the Wind Emperor Bow that he had fused. They are indeed a true god family. They are indeed generous. It seems like it was a good choice to join hands with them. Xing Mei was surprised. She then laughed and said, I wonder if there are any higher bids. If there aren't any. Many experts looked at each other and looked around. Their eyes were filled with helplessness. They could not compete with this price. If they bid recklessly, they would only embarrass themselves. It was better to be a quiet spectator. It's only SOSO. A disdainful sneer came from the purple stage private room. Seeing that no one was bidding, Xing Mei was about to make the final decision when a young man snorted. Trash. Damn, what kind of deity was this? This price was trash. Everyone turned their heads and looked at the private room. Xing Mei-er's body trembled. The guest actually spoke? Was he going to bid? I would like to see what price you're going to offer that can be higher than mine. A sneer came from the private room opposite. Obviously, they did not believe that Lin Shen could offer a higher price, because their price had already exceeded the value of the low-grade 7th level combat weapon. Many experts stared at Lin Shen's private room curiously. What kind of price would he offer? Cultivation technique? Elixir? Or alchemy hand seals? Today, open your eyes wide and see clearly what a real bid is. I will offer 8F * King Dragon Head. Lin Shen shouted coldly and shocked all the experts. Then, everyone was dumbfounded. They were all confused and puzzled. Dragon Head? Bang! Before they could finish their doubts, a tremor came from the purple stage private room. A huge shadow fell onto the stage and shocked everyone. Boom! When all the experts took a closer look from the aura, it was actually the head of a high-grade 7th level dire beast. Ha! You want to bid against me with this piece of junk? I think you're F * King retarded. Disdainful sneers came from the purple stage private room opposite. Try to outbid them with a high-grade 7th level dire beast head? What? You made us look forward to it in vain. A dire beast head without a dire beast core, even if it is a high-grade 7th level dire beast, it is not worth this price. Chapter 709. Box number 1. Dad, is this guy here to cause trouble? If he is here to cause trouble, How did he get the identity of a purple stare box? I don't understand. The mysterious lady in a black robe supported her chin with her hands and asked doubtfully. There were strong and weak 7th-level ferocious beasts. High 7th-level ferocious beasts were equivalent to 6th to 7th level combat emperors. Peak 7th level ferocious beasts were equivalent to 8th to 9th level combat emperors. If it was only an 8th level combat emperor ferocious beast, its value wouldn't be considered top-notch. At this moment, she suddenly realized that her family's patriarchs and her father had stopped talking. Their eyes were fixed on the red dragon's head in the secret meeting place. No, look, this is the head of a peak 7th level ferocious beast that is comparable to a 9th level combat emperor. And it's even from the dragon clan? So what? There isn't even a ferocious beast core. Even if there is a ferocious beast core, it can't be compared to a peak 7th level lower grade saber weapon. Just when many experts thought that Lin Chen was here to cause trouble, suddenly, the gazes of Xing Mei and Lu Qingyun, who were on the stage, became extremely serious. There was even a hint of fear in the eyes of the two men. This shocked many experts and made them curious and bewildered. Suddenly, the expert in purple stare box number 1 asked Lin Chen with a trembling and shocked tone. Friend, how did you do it? Lin Chen sat in the box, slowly sipping a mouthful of hot tea, and smiled faintly. How did I do it? It's just a matter of snapping my fingers. The purple stare box that asked the question suddenly became quiet. In that strange silence, no one knew what kind of turbulent waves were hidden. Many experts in the meeting place immediately came back to their senses and stared at the dragon clan's head. The dragon head was crimson red, its eyes were like jade, and its horns were like swords. Between the ferocious dragon teeth, there was a lava-like dragon breath. In the middle of the dragon head, there was a primordial dragon seal that looked like a giant red dragon. Oh my God, I'm not mistaken, am I? Suddenly, a few experts who were sitting in the blue stare box rushed out of the box and gasped under their black robes. At this time, the experts of the fake god family also began to realize that something was wrong. Xing Mei turned to look at Lin Chen's room, and her eyes were filled with disbelief and incredulity. Her red lips trembled as she asked, May I ask if this is clan leader Mo Tianming of the Red Lotus Flaming Dragon clan? One of the top 10 dragon clans? What else could it be? It's the real deal. If you don't believe me, you can go to the Barren State and take a look yourself. Lin Chen's casual words caused everyone's minds to temporarily stop thinking. The head of the dragon clan, patriarch. At this moment, all the experts present felt their scalps go numb. This was actually the dragon head of Mo Tianming, one of the 10 great dragon clan leaders. This was 2F** King Ridiculous. That was the patriarch of one of the top 10 dragon clans. The 10 dragon clan leaders might not be the strongest existences, but they were definitely one of the most difficult living beings to kill. Throughout the 9 prefectures, which human could easily enter the Barren State's dragon clan's territory. Even a 9th Heaven Combat Emperor would be killed by the group of dragons before even seeing them. The 10 great dragon clan leaders, each of them stood at the peak of the 9 prefectures. Indeed, their strength might not be the strongest. Based on the age of the dragon clan, most of the clan leaders were still considered young. Although there were very few people who could defeat them, there were still people in the 9 prefectures who could do so. However, it was completely impossible to kill them. Those who could ascend to the position of clan leader were all the top geniuses of the top 10 dragon clans. They were the overlords of their generation. It was impossible for the ancestors and grand elders of the top 10 dragon clans to agree to kill existences at their level. If anyone dared to touch the clan leader of the dragon clan, it meant that they were challenging the entire clan. They were facing all of the top 10 dragon clans. Now, the almost legendary existence, clan leader Mo Tianming of the Red Lotus Flaming Dragon clan, had his head placed in front of everyone. How'd he do it? Countless people only had one question in their hearts. Even their attention was completely diverted from the 7th tier top saber to Lin Chen. Even if all the organizers of the secret meeting were to move out, they would not be able to kill a dragon clan leader. Could it be that he alone could defeat the entire secret meeting? It was terrifying to think about. No one dared to think further. If it was really as he said, compared to the head of the dragon clan leader, the bidding just now was not worth a mention. It's actually the head of one of the top 10 dragon clan leaders. The beauty in box number 1 said with a trembling voice. This kind of existence was even better than her father. He was an existence that stood at the peak of the 9 prefectures. Indeed, as the rumors said, there were crouching tigers and hidden dragons in the auction of the secret meeting. It's just that the expert in the box, who was he to have such a background? The beauty was secretly shocked. There had been countless battles between the Dragon Clan and the Human Clan. Mo Tianming's Red Lotus Flaming Dragon Clan was an existence that had offended countless experts. In terms of the experts present, there were at least 100 people who had enemies with the Red Lotus Flaming Dragon Clan. If its value was placed in the open of the 9 prefectures, it was enough to make some top experts go crazy. They would buy it even if they had to sell their family's fortune. This was a symbol of glory and a deterrent of status. If they were to go to war with the Dragon Clan, the influence and effect of this severed head on the Dragon Clan was not something a 7th-tier top low-grade weapon could compare to. Weapons could be rebuilt. Other than the ancient Great Clan leader, there were only 10 Dragon Clan leaders since ancient times. If the head of this Mo Tianming clan leader were to be sold and placed in the highest standard auction in the 9 prefectures, it would definitely cause an unprecedented earthquake. It's really Mo Tianming. Damn it, this old man was hit by his palm back then. Even now, my injuries have not healed. I didn't expect him to fall in the hands of the guest in the box. What kind of god is this? Those experts hiding behind the secret meeting could not help but sigh and exclaim. Xing Mei Er's expression changed as if she had heard something. She immediately bowed apologetically towards the box of the fake god family. I'm very sorry, distinguished guests here. The seller has chosen the head of the Dragon Clan leader. If no one has a higher bid, Displeased snorts came from the box of the fake god family, but they did not dare to say anything. Someone who could kill the Dragon Clan leader, unless the true god behind them had descended. With their background, they would not dare to easily offend such a person in these troubled times. Clang! The sound of saber reverberated, and the ancient box rose up and shot into Lin Chen's box. Countless experts sighed. At the beginning, they were sneering, disdainful, and mocking. Now, when they looked at Lin Chen's box, the atmosphere was completely different. It was filled with admiration, fear, and amazement. The person sitting in that private room was a big shot who could kill the Dragon Clan's patriarch. Whether it was him or the force behind him, it meant that the person sitting in the box was a great god that they could never provoke. You're tuning into the Warrior Lore YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.